Hello, YouTube. I am Shaggy. I am Philolitea, and I am not trying to jinx it, but the video is oriented the correct direction this time. I gotta fix this though. Damn it to hell. Damn it to hell, Vincent. Do bad. Anyway, just turning this sumbitch upside down so that the camera's pointing at my face. I'll turn on the light when it's not light outside. The light in my tent costs me money. It costs me batteries. I am down to, I think I got like $3 left. So if you watch this in the future and you liked the original Final Fantasy series that I did, please send your boy $1. He will be hungry tomorrow. He is not currently hungry, but he will be hungry tomorrow. Okay, come on now. Let me use the controller. Why are we being the way we're being? What the hell? Gamepad is not connected. What are you talking about? Gamepad is not connected. This has never happened before. There we go. Alright, we are going to play... I don't think I genuinely have a favorite in the Final Fantasy franchise. I really don't. But I love Final Fantasy 2. I have a special place in my heart for Final Fantasy 2 because the combat system is so unique. The combat system is so unique and so different, and it's risky. They took risks and challenged themselves with this. And yeah, I didn't find my microphone fob. I didn't ask anybody at Panera because they're never at the front desk, and you know, if they had communicated to one another that they had found it, they didn't communicate it to me like they easily could have. So we're not worried about it. Okay. Yep, I have to revert to touchpad controls to spell their names. Alright, this is Shaggy, and you will understand why I'm naming these characters what I'm naming them once we've played the game a little bit. Yes, and this is Mr. S. No, wait, I'm going to change his name. It's still Mr. S. Still pronounced Mr. S. It's just spelled mysterious now. And Guy's name is going to be Kyle. What are you doing to me, game? My fucking face is in the way. You are Kyle. Yes. And you are going to be... No. You are going to be AKA'd Mouse. Okay. Doan. A long-lived piece. Beautiful pixel graphics. Is at an end. If I take the music out of my ears, you won't be able to hear me with my phone's microphone. And anyway, that's the Emperor of Palamecia and has begun his campaign for world conquest. A rebel army arose in the kingdom of Finn to thwart the something. But the rebels' castle fell to an all-out assault by the Empire. Thank you for not wasting my time. If it's an unskippable cutscene, at least let this shit happen fast. That's how I feel about it. Left with little choice, the rebels withdrew to the remote town of somewhere. Finn, I think. 4 youths from Finn also found themselves. They had lost their parents at the hands of the Empire. But their escape wasn't over. Oh shit, we have very low health. You see how low our health is? 30, 20, 30, and 4, or 30, 20, 40, and 30. I don't think we're going to be able to win this fight. This might be one of them there unwinnable fights. Well, we suck. We are not powerful at all. Will he live? Hilda asks. He will. I sense a strong life force in him, Menwu says. He should regain consciousness soon. We found them like this on the escape from Finn, fallen from terrible wounds. By the time we brought them here, I feared it was already too late. The music here is decidedly Disney. His life is not in danger, says Menwu. This sigil will strengthen his life force. We should let him rest now. Of course. He'd best be off the meeting, or we'd best be off to the meeting. I imagine they're already waiting for us. If the Empire is allowed to complete the dreadnought they're building in Bafsk, their attack will begin in earnest. We cannot sit idly by and watch. We must act. Star Wars, baby! Ugh. Where am I, says Mysterious. Shags! Mouse! Kyle! Where are ye? I'm not going to try to do Mr. S's voice. Mouse says, Mr. S, you're alive! I thought you'd... I'm fine, Mouse. You seem all right too, Kyle, but wait. Where's Shags? Princess of Finn, save us. Oh, wait. Kyle talks more like, Princess of Finn, save us. But Shag's not here. I see. Don't worry. I'm sure he's okay. I'm not controlling this. So you've regained your strength? Very good. Your life force is strong indeed. It was you who saved us, wasn't it? Thank you. Forgive me, Your Highness, but there is something I must ask of you. Please, let us join the rebel army. I could never allow such a thing, says Hilda. You know nothing of battle. You would only be throwing your lives away. You should return to your homes. But we have no homes. Not anymore. The Imperials attacked and our parents... I am truly sorry, but that changes nothing. I cannot permit you to join our army. If you've nowhere else to go, you're welcome to stay here in Altair. If you know our password, you should be able to live here well enough. The password is Wild Rose. Remember it well. Now, this game is not beloved by Final Fantasy fans, but this right here, I told you last night that I wanted to show you a game mechanic that if it were in every Final Fantasy game, thank you for being there, I love you. If it were in every Final Fantasy game or I would know what the fuck is going on. If it were in every JRPG, I would know what's going on. So this is the perfect tutorial for this too, how it works. We have a red letter there, and the only thing we can do is press learn. So we learn Wild Rose, and then ask pops up, and we can ask about Wild Rose. The Wild Rose is the insignia of the Kingdom of Finn. It represents our hope for a flourishing future of strength and beauty. But what will become of Finn now? I've heard that the Empire's captives suffer there in confinement, even as we speak. Mouse, your brother Shags is missing, is he not? It's possible that he's being held in Fynn as well. But Fynn is far too dangerous to travel to now. The Emperor's beasts still stalk the streets. Gaining entrance to the city will not be easy. The man at my right is Minwu, the white wizard who tended your wounds. Speak with him before you leave. He may be of some assistance. And that's all we can do with that. It tells us the buttons. I figure out how to close that, and we come over here, and he says, I see your destiny clearly. The future it holds seems closely entwined with mine own. You will begin by journeying to Fynn. That is the first step toward realizing your fate. And we ask him Wild Rose, and he goes, you've wasted no time using the password. Heed well the information it will bring you. You can learn much of value by listening. I offer you one more bit of advice before you depart for Fynn. Those who have fallen in battle can be revived at a sanctuary. Should one of you fall before you reach Fynn, go without hesitation to the nearest sanctuary. But hey, pal, you dodged me. The port of Paloom is east of here, but a lake separates us, so you won't be able to reach the town without a canoe. Heard that. This is the rebel army's war room, he says. So does he. Heading to Fynn, are we? Oh, wait, let's do a...
Heading to Fynn, are we? It's not my place to tell you what to do, but I'd reconsider if I were you. It's a dangerous place to be, you see. The city is crawling with the Empire's monsters.
I need to turn this down. I can't hear myself think.
To the north lies a small village called Gatria. Judging by the look of you, you'd be lucky to make it that far. Before you go anywhere, I suggest you visit the room with the sigil that saved your life. There you'll find people who can teach you a thing or two about adventuring. I think you're going to need all the advice they can spare.
What a dick. Go fuck yourself, old man. Now, I don't... These guys don't give me an item or anything, but if you were playing the game, you might want to talk to these dickheads. But they're going to tell you about the thing that nobody likes about this game. Nobody but me. Nobody is as crazy as Shaggy, Philalitea, El Don Vicente is.
An arrow struck me in the knee during the battle, leaving me in this state. Perhaps I really have grown old. My daughter, Hilda, now serves as regent. You should speak with her.
Heard that.
I used to be a hero, and then I got shot in the knee.
He actually said shot in the back. I just thought it would be funnier to use a meme from 20 years after this game was released. Because I'm hilarious like that. He says, we're in the rebel town hideout in the town of Altair. And we got a potion. Fuck yeah, we like free shit. Gordon, the Prince of Kashwan, is hiding out here in Altair. I don't know what happened, but something has made him lose faith in himself. Also, I'm probably going to interchange between Altair and Altair, and you're just going to have to deal with that. Princess Hilda fled here when Fynn was sacked. She's doing a remarkable job of leading the rebel army while His Majesty recovers. Neat. Moving on, you fucks. We aren't in the rebel army, but they've given us orders. This is the town of Altair. The Imperial forces haven't been deployed this far out yet. I suppose it's only a matter of time, though. Hello, Paul. I'm Paul, greatest thief in all the world. They've yet to invent the loot I can't burgle or steal. They've yet to invent the loot I can't burgle or steal. Does anybody remember? Was it Jimmy Neutron, where the closing credits for the studio that animated the show went, I'm Paul. So that's how Paul talks now. I'm Paul, greatest thief in all the world. They've yet to invent the loot I can't burgle or steal. I never steal from the rebels. You can be sure of that. My home was in Fynn too. I can't even go home now that the Empire has occupied the city. Okay, buddy. I'm Paul. Named characters in old games. Look, nobody announced who the fuck they were in the previous one, so this one all the named characters introduce themselves to you as soon as you walk up. I'm Paul. Hey, Paul. It's nice to meet you, buddy. I'm Paul. I know, buddy. Okay, we don't want to use Optimal in this game, because this game's silly. Oh, man. That made me laugh. That's actually funny to me. This is a real laugh. I thought that was actually funny. Okay. I'm Paul. Hey, bud. Okay. Tobel, the fellow over in that weapon shop, is one fine blacksmith. I think something's been bothering him lately, though. It's his bunions. What can I do for you? You can sell me 2 of those and 1 of those. Thank you, sir. What's up, Tobel? What could you want with me? I'm just an old man. The Geezer Act is just a cover. My name's Tobel, and I'm the best darn blacksmith in the rebel army. You're the coolest fucking person I've talked to, too. Two as well. 2 also. Tonight. Pyle's a skilled thief, but don't worry. You can trust him. He only steals from the Imperials. Everybody says his name like that. It's contagious. And by contagious, I mean infectious. That's what I meant to say. My name is Gordon. I was once a prince of Kashwan. You are not doing a good job of hiding, sir. Behind the hideout does not count as hiding. Now I'm nothing but a coward. When my brother Scott fell in battle, I abandoned my kingdom and fled here. Well, so you've asked to take up arms in the struggle? I'm so afraid Hilda will turn me away that I haven't even asked her. I've been stalling here. Fucking loser. We died. And our brother is missing. But we're fighting the good fight. I need to move my face to somewhere else. Where do I usually have it when I'm playing this? You don't know the answer to that. Okay. Now before we get into combat, I'm going to show you what makes this game special. As you may notice on the screen here, I'll actually use my cursor to indicate there's no level. You don't have a level. And you have a fairly extensive stat sheet here, including accuracy, evasion, magic defense, and magic interference. This is the percentage that your spells are reduced by your gear. And then you have this. Skill levels. Fists, knives, swords, staves, axes, pole arms, bows, and shields. And as you notice, they have a bar and a level. And where they tell us what our hand is. Right-handed or left-handed. Okay. And, as you see here, we can change our formations in a way that we couldn't before. We can't reorganize the party. What we can do is we can put them in the front or the back row. That was innovated in this game, and it didn't exist in the previous. And now I'm going to show you what makes this game amazing. And you're going to think, oh, I hate that. But it's my favorite thing in the whole world. Maybe not the whole world, but it is very cool. I wish that every Final Fantasy were like this, and if I made an RPG, it would be like this. It would be very much based on this. So you saw there that we gained experience with our weapons. Mouse gained 1 strength up to 6, and we gained Gil. Oh, that's interesting. You gain raw stats in this game instead of levels for what you do. So check this out. Ow, you bitch, what the fuck? I guess I probably want my shield out if you guys are going to be whacking on me. Now you might think to yourself, this seems exploitative, but what it is practice, you see. They have no experience fighting. Oh boy. Furion's about to have no health. They have no experience in combat. What's her face? She's gonna die if I do that. The queen, what's her tits, told me that we have no experience in combat. All we're gonna do is get ourselves killed. Well, now we have experience in combat. Check this out. We all gained a level with our weapons. Sword, shield, bow, axe, shield. Lots of levels. Mysterious gained 10 HP. And look, its evasion went up 10% from that fight. Mouse got 2% evasion, 1 strength, and Kyle got 10% evasion from that fight. Fuck yeah! And now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to be Mimi Fucks. How do I do this? Nope, not like that. We click remove. That's how we do this. La-dee-dee, we are going to be Mimi shitbags. And it's amazing to me that we can do this. So sometimes when I want to feel superior to other human beings, I get on Reddit. And that does it. But when I really want to feel superior to other human beings, I get on Reddit and listen or read what people have to say about this game. And they're so dumb. They're so dumb in how they play this game. You'll see people like, oh, I can't figure out how to get my stamina up, or oh, my agility is too low. I can never evade attacks. Stupid bastard. What you do is equip a different weapon, like a bow. And this game has the coolest magic system. So you saw that I had to buy the spell, and it makes this here tome. And you take this tome, and you give it to Mouse. And now Mouse can cast Cure. This is the coolest shit in the world. I love this system. Why? Because we're just some kids from Finn that got attacked by the Empire. We have no business being what we are and doing what we're doing. No business. So Firian's going to do that, and she's going to... No. She's going to do that, and he's going to do that. And now he's barehanded. And then Firian's going to do that, and she's going to do that, and he's going to do that. Flop, flop, flop. And we're just gonna do this for a while. This is just what gaining levels in this game looks like, because there's no XP limit, and we can do this for until we're out of HP, and we will, because we can do this too. We can cure everybody in the group for a reduced amount of HP for 1 MP. We don't have to have a separate spell like in the previous game. Look how cool this shit is. Ah, fuck. What were you thinking, Kyle? You know he doesn't get experience when you do that, you dumbass. That's Mouse's, yeah, he doesn't get any experience for that fight now. Mouse's magic went up, her MP went up by 5, and her strength improved. Well, that's mildly annoying. But that's a risky run when you're punching each other in the face over and over and over again. But it's not prohibitively expensive to bring your people back to life in this game. So guess what we're going to be doing a lot of? And inns are particularly cool in this game as well. The way the inn works is that they charge you for every point of HP and MP that they recover. That's how much it costs to sleep at an inn. I think that's fucking brilliant. I think that's fucking brilliant. Love it. There's nothing about this game that I don't like. Maybe it's not my favorite. But from the standpoint of literally there's nothing about it I don't like, this is my favorite. I don't think there's any of the other Final Fantasies that there are things that I don't think that any of the other Final Fantasies do not have things that I don't like about them. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This game gets me so fucking up. And yeah, it's kind of boring. It is kind of boring. But you know what else it is? Fucking hilarious. And it gets funnier. It gets funnier as we play. Like right now it seems a little silly and ridiculous. Because it is. And Kyle's so fucking strong. And this is the perfect put on a book and pay attention to something else kind of game. So good chance that does happen tonight. That I get back to the conceit of what we've been doing. We've been having so much fun playing and engaging in and taking the original Final Fantasy seriously, um, that I pulled myself out of the books. But this, look at this. This is so much fun. And yeah, we're going to do this until until Mouse is out of mana. MP, whatever it's called in this game. This is just what we're going to do. And you'll see why. You'll see why. The longer the fights go, I'll just spoil it for you. The longer the fights go, the more XP that actually accumulates. So all of this counts. And so, on some level, basically, the idea right now is to we're going to power level, and then we're going to go to the next part of the game so that it's not a struggle. So it's just fun to blast our way through stuff that can't hurt us because nothing has a level in this game. You see, they have raw stats, and so once you cross the threshold of being able to survive, you do that now. You survive. It's pretty fucking sweet. I like that a great deal. Like, I cannot exaggerate how much I like it. And I don't know if you've noticed, but level 1 spells cost 1 MP. I like that a great deal too. That's why they have reduced efficacy. Um, I may have just made a mistake. I did. Okay, God. Thank God. Um, that's why they have reduced efficacy when you use the AoE version. This is probably going to kill him. Okay, she got there first. I did that backward. I should have had Furion attack. I should have had Mr. S attack Kyle. 5 more turns. And Kyle defend. And as you can see, I can't be the most powerful character in the party this time. I don't have to apologize for always accidentally doing the most DPS the whole time we play this. I'm not in the party. I am missing. Oh Shags, where has my storyteller gone? Oh Shags, oh where can he be? He smells like fart and his hair looks dumb. Oh where can he be? Punch, punch, punch. Ouch! I wasn't defending you, bitch. Those are arrows. We're just gonna say, oh my god. We're gonna say that they're blunted, but they're not. If my friend for whom Mouse is named saw what I'm doing and what is happening with Mouse, they would approve. So Mr. S went from no experience with fists to level 2. Mouse went from a little bit into 2 to level 3 with bows, and Kyle went from a little bit into 2, or a little bit into 1 to level 2 with fists. And Mouse gained a level with Cure. Fucking great news. Mr. S gets 11 HP up to 51, stamina, and strength. Mouse gains another 6 MP, 5 HP, stamina, magic, and spirit. Another 2% evasion, another magic defense. I'm not going to read these after a while, but this is what I'm talking about. You want to talk about how excited I got for the stat gains in the first Final, just literally how much for how long I was able to sustain enthusiasm for that. Yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. And as you see, it barely moves for 1 turn. One turn, and you don't even get experience. But I do want to equip her with a different weapon, because there are... See, the enemies do give experience thresholds, so I probably won't be able to get experience toward level 4 with my weapons for some time. Not around here anyway. Probably not. I might if I were to wail on my party with them, for sure. But where we're at right now is we're just trying to get all of our weapons to level 3, and we're trying to get everybody over 100 HP. That's just where we're... Those are our thresholds before we move on. And so, on that note, we're going to see if I minimize this, if you are able to see what screen recording, because it's supposed to only be recording the game. Okay, well, hopefully you weren't able to see, but Mr. S said some very funny things there. He says, Paul looks like he hosts a good barbecue, and that made me laugh. Okay, I'm not going to have to turn down the in-game music, because I can't hear my book. And tonight we're reading, what are we reading? We're reading, comparative mythology. We're reading... Oh my god! Firion! Mr. S, my dude! He gets revenge, you see. Mr. S gets revenge in a big way, you see. We might be too powerful for that nonsense. Oh, that's funny to me. That shit is funny to me. Alright. Maybe we don't hit each other with level 2 skills yet. Woo! Mr. S just punches Kyle right in the fucking head for 51 damage. You fuck! You knocked me out earlier. Take this, you piece of shit. Yeah, I know you're defending. Oh, shit, I forgot to take that roll of quarters out of my hand. My bad, bro. That's funny shit to me. This is infinitely entertaining. I'm not joking. And yes, child soldiers are obviously the way to go. Why would they want us to not throw our lives at the Empire? Oh, man. Oh, my God. I have to eventually remember to do that thing I said I was going to do. Okay, so... that's more like it. Oh, man. I do mean to laugh like I am. This is funny to me. Just whacking on him with an axe, and she's just punching away at him. I'm undefended. Why me? Kyle just stands there. Kyle just takes it. I mean, there's a Kyle in every party. We're not going to do this one until we're out of mana. For sure not this one. We're just going to do this one for a few more turns. Let one of them take a big hit. Try to guarantee that we level our weapons here. And I'm going to let Kyle hold a shield. Let him just absorb some damage while Mr. S whacks at him. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I got a little bit excited last time, leaving them both unarmed. You do want to level up one of their shields by just letting them absorb this, because while you're not doing damage to them, their evasion is going up, um, their agility, their stamina, and then your weapon skill is getting better. So Kyle's shield skill is getting better. Mr. S's weapon skill is getting better, and Mouse is just getting better all around. She's getting better at everything that she does well. Axes leveled, hands leveled. Mouse and Mr. S. Mr. S gets 12 HP, strength, 2 evasion, and magic defense and a stamina there. Mouse gets better, and Kyle gets a little better. Great shit. Now, now that we've got a little bit of dosh jangling around in our purse, we're gonna come in here and then we're gonna do something real dumb. This is real dumb, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna think this is so funny because it's hilarious. We got a little jangle in our pockets here, and we're gonna buy an ice, or rather, we're gonna buy this here fire tome, and we're gonna give it to Kyle. And you're gonna be like, why would you give it to the person who doesn't speak English so good? And I'm gonna say, oh, just you wait. We're also going to make sure that we save. Something that I forget to do a lot. Oh, I deleted my personal save. Whoops! Guess I won't be playing this on my personal time. Um, Damn it! That did more damage than I thought it was going to. Because Kyle's a badass in this game. And our magic defenses aren't good. I didn't mean to actually cast that only on Kyle, or rather only on Mr. S. I meant to do that against the whole group. And while I'm in here, I need to come in here. Turn that on. And that down. There we go. My ears don't hurt anymore. And when I say ears, I mean left ear. I hope you're enjoying hearing the crickets tonight. I enjoy hearing the crickets. I probably can't afford to. Yeah, I don't actually want to go to the end. And you saw there that your spells cost, their MP cost is their level. So now my cure costs 2. And yeah, you do gain spell experience for using the spells outside of combat. That's convenient. If you didn't, that would be annoying. And see, like, maybe other players of this game don't think about it the way I do, but you absolutely want to use spells on yourself, offensive spells on yourself, because the only other way to level up your magic defense is to get beaten by bosses, is to let bosses wail on you. Well, we're not doing that. This is a bad choice. Nah, not that bad. So this book I'm reading, it's called From Ritual to Romance. It's a comparative mythology of the Arthur mythology, or yeah, the Grail myths, the Arthur literature, and what she wants to know is, and what she's trying to figure out. It was published in 1920. So anyway, what she's trying to figure out is whether there were an older myth system, an older pre-Christian myth system the uh, underneath the Arthur myth, as we have received it. That's all. She's still in the forward. And like, some of the specifics of what she's talking about are whole podcasts in their own right. So like trying to explain to you what like the Parlivore is, or why it might matter whether Percival is original to Chrétien de Troyes or whether or not. Like these things are not something you come to this episode tonight with interest in. And yeah, she refers to the religions and the myth systems that are maybe and definitely are in the Arthur stories, the Arthur canon. She calls them nature cult, and that's just interesting. That's all. Mouse is just getting so good so fast. Kyle's doing great for HP. And then we're going to use the last of our MP, and then we're going to go inside. And we're going to rest it in. And right now, we're not worried about making a ton of money. We'll make money. This is also a book where she's talking about people that I don't know, and she's talking about their theories and their opinions and their work like I've read it, and I have not. So I'm not going to act like I have. I don't know exactly what she's talking about, so I'm just listening. Getting everybody to 100 HP isn't maybe what I mean. We're going to try to get Mouse to 100 HP. That's really our goal here. I need to take that bow out of her hands, too. She might be unarmed. I just need to take her out of the back row. And she's saying basically that the the Arthur myths came out of a past that in the 1920s was considered primitive, and so not one that they were often willing to study. And I've recently read, and maybe I should read it again. Actually, that would be more relevant to your interests. Um, there's a book I own that I would love to read again because I didn't talk to another human being about having read it, called Inventing Prehistory, and it's about exactly what you think. The the frank outright lies that academia told about history and prehistory, up until basically the publication of that book, basically up until about 2009, and that is not an exaggeration, not in any way. I am not taking liberties with history to say that really history was a pathetic industry until about 2009. Pathetic, racist, awful. Uh, not at all honorable. Before about 2009. Um, I should have him wait. And she's right. She says that it's more appropriate to call these gods or these heroes culture heroes, which is what we do call them today. So that's cool that that her work has lingered in academia. It's more appropriate to call these gods, heroes, demigods, all of these characters culture heroes than it is to call them nature or fertility. The idea of the nature slash fertility idol being the dominant force in these religions comes from bad readings of the Bible. Bad readings of the Bible. And bad is what the reading was before about 2009. I'm, again, not joking. It was bad. Get his swords to 3 because he's got axes at 3 and fists and swords at 2. So we'll just go ahead and get his fist to 2 over there as well. Get his fist to 3. I didn't give her. Is she at 2 or 3? She needs a new weapon. So we're going to give her a broadsword and a knife. You can dual wield in this game, yo. You can dual wield in this game, and the best part is it's worth doing. And now she's talking about the sacred king rights of the Golden Bough, and she's reinterpreting them. And the sacred king rights are something that I used to talk about a lot. I talked about them a lot 2 years ago in the original incarnation of this podcast, and they're not something that I want to get in tonight because, yeah, the king is dead. All hail the king, long live the king. Is she said it's the underlying ethos of that religion, and yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Should talk about it, that is. And now she's doing that thing that was common in her century, where she's pointing out that what these people are calling nature cult requires a death and a resurrection, a death and a resurrection of the king. And so what she's doing is going, Jesus's claims were old even in Jesus's day, and nobody wants to hear that. What Jesus was claiming for him was an Indo-European myth. It has nothing to do with Judaism. Nobody wants to hear that. And she's talking about how the sites that were considered important and holy in the Arthur myths were already important before the Christians. So it's pretty obvious that there was a connection there before the Christian, because the Arthur stuff starts to show up long after Christianity was the ubiquitous religion in Europe. The finished Arthur stuff that's made it to us. And so that's why she's curious. Alright, Kyle, you're almost out of mana. We got one more turn, and then we'll end this, and you go back to being a punchy boy. While we're going to go in town, we're going to buy Mr. S a spell of some sort, and we're going to let him work on his spells. There we go. The spells, casting the AoE spells on yourself like that, and we were able to get to level 4 with our shields there with Mysterious. That's good. Mr. S got to 4. Good. Kyle's Fire and Mouse's Cure both went up. That's good. Mr. S got another 8% in evasion. That's what we're talking about. Big gains. Kyle's MP went up by 7. Big gains. Love it. Now we go inside the town, and we take this little bit of cash that we got. We got a little bit of dosh. We can go spend it. Come over here, and we're gonna buy that. And then we have 32 gil. That's not enough. So then what we're going to do is we're going to buy yonder fire tome for Mr. S and yonder cure tome for Kyle. All right, Kyle, now you got a heal spell. And then we go back to work. Mr. S goes to work. And we're up to cure level 3. I'm going to wait a turn to make sure that Mr. S actually has full health, because I'm going to have Kyle hit him and he's probably going to kill him. He's going to just drop him dead. Oh, hit the wrong button there. Damn it. I got used to it not being, I got used to it not memorizing my last command. Nah. Eventually, Kyle will get to attack again. There's a Kyle in every party, man. Hey, we did it. We got there. Yeah, okay, so now she's moving into the Grail Legends proper, and in the legend that she's describing, um, the knight is already in the middle of the quest for the Grail, and what we know is that the knight should have, like, asked questions before he went on his quest. Because he doesn't know what he's looking for. He doesn't actually know what the Grail that he's looking for even is. It's Gowan. Oh no, it's not even it's not even the Grail. It's the Lance with the Fisher King myth, and she skipped the context of the Fisher King. Oh, damn it! I got used to the thing that I just said. And Mouse got good at sword and knife. Moving on. Ah, big yields. We like evasion and magic defense. That's what we're working on most. That's the most important thing right now. Um, we're trying to get Mouse to 100 HP. It's not easy. It's going to take some time. But it will happen. And then, yeah, and what she calls the Gowan form. Gowan is my favorite of the knights. I used to have a rat buddy that I named Gowan. Gawain. Also known as Gwalchmai and the Welsh, the Cymry. When he completes the quest, the wasteland is made fertile again, and that's the oldest form of the myth. Is the undoing of the wasteland. Healing the king, the Fisher King, the king being sick, and the land being desolate or the king being injured and the land being desolate it's a common theme in those old myths. All right, I need to give him a weapon of some sort. So we'll go broadsword, and we need to give him a different weapon, right? Staves, yes. So let's just make him unarmed again. And then, yeah, when you fail the Grail quest, you wake up and you find yourself in the same. Oh no, when you complete the quest, what you find is that the Castle Perilous, or whatever the name of the castle that you went to find the Grail, has disappeared, but the land remains the same. So it's dream logic, but even it's strange and uncanny even by um, mythological logic. And yeah, it's interesting that in the mythology, the water, the rivers and the fountains, the rivers and the springs, um, have dried up. And when you restore the Fisher King, or when you complete the Grail quest, the rivers run again. And that's interesting because Plato talked about how the mismanagement of Athens, the Athenian government, led to the rivers of Athens drying up. So the wasteland, specifically the rivers, is a historically real thing. And then yeah, the Percival of Crecy and Detroit, the Fisher King is returned from old age to youth. And yeah, the goal of the myth, even the challenge of the myth, changes over time from asking what the Grail even is and what it's for, to asking who the bearer of the Grail is and what they do. Why? What's your story? Is this familiar to you from what I ask of you vis-a-vis me? Ask what the thing I'm talking about is. Who are you? These questions, they are old and Indo-European vision quests. The knight errant didn't actually have to be a landed nobleman. The errand itself could be enough to get you that knighthood, but Knigget before the 12th century, before the 13th century, really was it was just a person with weapons and armor and a horse. So basically, a Viking and a Knigget were the same thing, and that is how knight used to be pronounced, Knigget. Knigd. Mr. S with the swords, so we can move to something else from swords. How about staves? On we go. We need to restore. We need to take a trip to the inn, and then it's about time for us to move on. We want Mouse to have 100 HP, but we can probably do with what we've got. Because they're going to have to really get on top of her a bunch of turns in a row with the amount of HP and as good as her stats are, and then just as powerful as we are. And so now we move on to do the thing that they asked us to do. They said that getting into that city would be difficult, and that there's a town to the north that we can go to. So let's do that. I'm laughing at Mr. S's comment. He says, I meant to kill him, not actually kill him. And it is funny that we are not unconscious. You have to go to a temple and be resurrected. That shit's funny. Eventually, I will remember to turn the do not disturb off so that I see those texts, so that it makes sense for you to do that. But that's funny to me. This is amazing. Okay. Uh, we just had somebody level up a stat. I think it was her. Swords and daggers. We can move off of swords and daggers. We're not going to move off daggers. Well, wait, no, we are, because um, we're going to take off his buckler to give it to her, and we're going to give her javelins, or a javelin. And is he still at? Yes, he is. All right, good job, Kyle. Gatreya is where they told us to be. And yeah, also Percival also has to avenge a wrong done to the Fisher King's brother, because that's why the Fisher King is wounded, is because he hadn't avenged his brother. The Imperial forces have occupied Castle Fen. The gates are drawn and no one can enter. And with Imperial troops and monsters roaming the streets, the city isn't any better off. Okay. We're not going to talk to all these people. This is just a side town. We're here. I want to double check that they don't have armor that we want. They don't. Do they have weapons that we want? If they don't have anything that we want, they don't have anything we want. Do they have a spell that we want? They clearly did not anticipate me spending so much time running around outside Altair. But Altair has the spells, so it doesn't make sense to run around gaining levels out here. They don't have spells in this here town. Moving on. Flatulence. Mr. S with the knife, Mouse with shield and spears. Very nice. Very nice. What aileth thee, mine uncle? I love how I said that it's going to take some time for them to get on top of Mouse, and that's the only person they attack for turn after turn. I wasn't wrong. You live, but to grace are dead, is what is said about the Fisher King. That, man, I can understand. I can relate to that. I didn't mean to go to the castle. Okay, and so now I know what to do. It's just as we've heard, says Mr. S. The city is crawling with Imperial soldiers. We have to be careful, make sure not to get too close. And now you notice, my party talk to one another to give me direction about what the fuck to do. Good game design, guys. This is a good game. Okay, and I know what to do, so we're just going to do it. And I'm not going to show you what happens when we talk to one of those Imperial soldiers, because that's a wipe. They will kick our ass for a while, a very long while yet. You want to talk about, we were talking about open world games a little bit when we were playing Final Fantasy VII last, while we were outside the hill with Condor, right? The macro reactor with the Condor. We were talking about game development and how do you tell your players where to go, and how do you keep your players from getting too far ahead of where the story is in their exploration of the world. And the way that Final Fantasy the first and this one do it is by having obviously the monster's just too powerful for you. And then gating things off with vehicles. You have to have a vehicle to cross the river, to cross the lake, to get to the towns to the east. They told us that. I like that. Tell me where to go. Tell me where to go that I'm not going to get killed. Tell me what to do. Tell me whom to talk to. And then let me figure out the puzzle once we're there. Okay, so what they told us, how we're supposed to figure this out, is that they told us that the remaining rebels in Finn are outside the town. And so this is technically outside the town walls. This is the tavern. And the bartender says, "Whoa, where do you think you're going? Customers aren't allowed behind the counter." To which we say, "Wild Rose." And he goes, "Aha, you're with the rebels. You'll find a secret door in this wall. There's a wounded soldier back there. Go see if you can help him." What am I going to do? I've had it with this place. You guys can take it from here. Don't let us down. And he fucks all the way off. Good for him. Anyway, we're going to come to end of this secret door right here. This is the first instance of invisible walls in Final Fantasy that I'm aware of. If there are invisible walls in the first, I did not explore any of them. We're stealing that guy's potions, and we're talking to this soldier. "Are you going to turn me over to the Empire? At least have the decency to kill me first. I don't want them to take me alive." And we say Wild Rose to him, and he says, "So, you're rebel soldiers? Are you? My name is Scott. I'm a prince of Kashwan." "I know your brother." "Prince Scott, we were told you fell in the battle. Thank goodness you're still alive." "I am, but not for much longer. I'm afraid I must ask a favor of you. There's something you must tell my brother, Gordon. Tell him I know he has great strength. He must learn to have more faith in himself. I also have a message for the king. Tell him the reason Finn fell so quickly is that Count Borgin betrayed us. He's been made a general in the Imperial Army. There's one more thing. Tell Hilda I love her." Blink. Oh, wait. No. No, don't deliver that last message. The confessions of a dying man. They would only bring her pain. And then Mouse says, My brother Shags, have you heard of him?" "I'm sorry, but I have not. I wish I could be of more help. Here, I want you to take my ring. I'm sure it will be use. Key item. Maybe it's all this talking, but I've grown extremely tired. If you'll excuse me, I just need to rest. Just for a little while." Collapses on the floor and dies. This is the adult Final Fantasy. That was intense and dramatic and real. That brought it home that this is a war. This is serious business. And I approve. Moving on. There's a reason this didn't get released in the United States. Weam's Children's. Weam's too immature to handle a true war story. And spear and shield for Mouse. Joseph of Arimathea is presented as the patron saint of Norway in one of the stories that she's referring to. Joseph of Arimathea is the uncle of Jesus that paid for his tomb. Shit. Daggers and knives. Sword. Knife. Moving on. And the sins in these stories that are put on these heroes like Joseph of Arimathea or the Fisher King is an injury to the loins. So believe me, there are days where I pray for forgiveness for whatever sin I did unto God, that He has absolutely blighted my pelvis. There are reasons that I read these stories so closely. It's not just personal interest. And Mr. S crosses 200 HP, so we don't have to worry about our next threshold. We can go on to the next story beat. I was wrong. Kyle crossed 200. Good job, Kyle. Keep it up. Mouse will cross 100 when she's ready. Alright, so this is Gordon. My name is Gordon. I was once a prince. Key item. Ring. That ring! It's my brother's! He really said all those things about me? Yes, he really said all those things about you, Gordon. That was a little bit underwhelming. Clearly not the person I was supposed to show the ring to for the next story beat. Hello, Miss Hilda. Our password is... Yes, I remember that. It's the ring. That ring belonged to Scott! Is he alive? I love this. You have to use the correct key item. It's not just having it in your inventory. You have to know what you're doing in order to progress this game. And the way you know what you're doing is by listening to the characters talk. It's so beautifully well written. He gave us this ring in Finn just before he lost the last of his strength. Did he say anything? No, nothing. Your Highness, please. The ring belongs with you. No, keep it. It suits a personage of courage. You infiltrated Finn and returned to tell the tale. You've proven yourselves quite capable. Oh, I didn't read that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit X twice there. She said that we can join their cause. There's a magical metal known as mithril, and we need strong warriors if we were to obtain it. So we learn mithril, and then we ask mithril. What a fucking great story loop. What a great gameplay loop to engage me in the story. Why isn't this in every game? We lost Finn because we were ill-equipped. The Empire fought with weapons and armor made of mithril. I have charged Joseph, a man living in Salamand, with the task of finding a source of mithril. I do not know the cause, but we've been out of contact with him for some time now. Would you go with Minwu to Salamand to look into this? There's nothing to learn, and so we talked to Minwu. I heard Her Highness's words and have waited here for you since. To reach Salamand, we must first pass through the port town of Paloom. Take my canoe, and let us be on our way. Hell yeah! And I love that it's not some obscure dumb bullshit that you have to go through to get the vehicles. The vehicles are part of the narrative. What a great game! What a well-written game. Bam, 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 bam. Love that shit. Thank you for that like. Hello, the two of you. We're crossing an hour and 15 minutes. I wanted to see where we were at as far as that. I'm at 78% battery. We are crushing it. How are we doing for money? So well. So well. It's time to come and do some dumb shit with our money. We're going to come into here and we're going to say, it's time for cure spell. And then we go thunder and blizzard. And then we say, hello, cure spell. You go to him. And then we go thunder, 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 blizzard, blizzard, blizzard. Look at that. Now we have spells. And then we come into here. No. How do I organize this? Why am I not allowed to organize this? There's a way to arrange my spells. I do not like the way they are arranged right now. I don't know what it is, though. I will figure... Nope, not that. Maybe it's... You know, just while we're here. Hmm. Hmm. There we go. Figured it out. Bing, bing, bing. And then we've got Fire Thunder. Yes, he has a lot of spells. Very cool, Manwu. You have a lot of spells. Okay. Cool. Now he's talking about how in the uh, he's talking about Indra and how Indra is who, or she's talking about how Indra and the Rig Veda, that many of the hymns of the Rig Veda are to Indra and whatever, whatever that means, um, and that Indra is very, very similar to the Grail heroes. That many of the things that Indra does, the Grail heroes also do. All right, Minwoo, you are in the party because you are in the party, but you don't get to participate in the party. You get to watch. Doo, doo, doo. Canoes are fun. Okay. And the town is right here. I do appreciate that. Don't fuck with me. Don't waste my time. This is not the first Final Fantasy. This is a different game. This world, you know, it's trying to exist. It's trying to feel like it's real, like it's historical, right? And so there are cities on opposite ends of this giant lake, and this city has a, you know, a largely maritime economy. How cool is that shit? We don't need to talk to these people. We're not really interested in their flavor text. Paluma is a town of freedom. Want to settle down here with me, handsome? Yeah, there you go. Cure, blink, protect, shell. We want these, but we'll come back for them. Or will we? How much was it? That was 900 gil. Let's see how long that'll take us. So Minwoo is just in the party because he's in the party. He doesn't get to participate. And we're not worried about leveling up right now. Right now, ooh, that's going to be slow. 55 gil a pop is going to be slow. We might not do that. We don't need those defensive spells that bad yet. Mr. S with the knife and the staff. So that means pikes and bows. We'll do the javelin, and we'll keep him with the knife. Nah, that's dumb. Javelin and a buckler. I am gonna give her... Nah, we'll keep her with the buckler. What are we? We're at 200? Oh wait, I'm thinking 9,000. 900 is manageable if I already have 300. I was thinking 9,000 was going to take way too long at 55 a pop. Yeah, I could boost our gil gain, but weapon XP is good. Mr. S is 2 spears. Evasion goes up. And as you see, our stats are ridiculous. You can get powerful so much faster in this game, irrespective of character level. I love that. Mouse has 3 axes, which means that Mouse only has staves left to get to level 3. That's sick. Keep it up. And yeah, she's far enough in the past that she's talking about how the folklore of Europe is inherited from the Aryan peoples, and what she means is the Indo-European past. Because in 1920 they didn't know that the Indo-European peoples, that the Aryan peoples of the Vedas spoke the same language family and had the same hierarchy system. Um, they didn't know that these disparate groups were almost identical. I clearly need to read the Rig Veda again. She was just quoting from the Rig Veda where the rivers of India um, sing in a hymn about how Indra struck the rocks from which they flowed. And that makes me think about how Moses did the same thing. Or maybe it was Aaron. That this is an old human story, and your religion is not. Your religion isn't authoritative unless it includes it. Almost there. Just under 700. Yeah. And a character named Risha Shringa, so long as they, I think they're a female character, but so long as they remain unsexed, that is chaste, so long as they remain unsexual, the land will be blighted. But so long as this character is engaged in sexual activity, the river will flow. The ancient peoples, even very near modern people, believed that human sexual activity, that remaining within the cycles of life, that continuing fertility within human communities, um, kept nature alive. And it's hard to believe that they're wrong, because if your time is spent at industry, you're using up the natural resources. What were the hippies of the 1970s concerned with? They were concerned with free love and anti-industrialization. What was that guy that wanted to show up in my chat the other day talking to me about how Ted Kaczynski was right, and that what we should be doing is living in nature and fucking? When people talk about fertility cult, they have this idea that all people were doing all day long was fucking, and that's just not what it was about. It was about keeping the women pregnant. It wasn't about constant eroticism. It was about constant pregnancy. And so modern, neoliberal feminists reject the idea that a woman needs to be fertile. She needs to be pregnant during her fertile years because they're rich enough to do that. But in the ancient world, a woman who died young without any offspring was a wasted daughter. That was a waste of bringing a human being to sexual maturity. Utterly wasted. It reminds me of um, I knew a woman who was telling me a story. She was an adopted mother so she and her husband, they couldn't bear children for whatever reason, so they adopted a child. And she was telling me how she had a master's in education and she was a teacher until they adopted, and then she decided to retire and become a stay-at-home mother. And when she told her dad about it, her dad wasn't happy. And I said, well, what do you mean he wasn't happy? I knew exactly why he wasn't happy, but I wanted to hear it from her lips. And she said that what he said to her when he found out that she was going to be quitting the job that he paid for her to get an education in, was what he said to her is, well, I'm glad that I spent $50,000 for you to get that education for you to not use. That's awesome. He didn't say the that's awesome part, but he was not. He said that he was thrilled that she was making her own choices, but what he was the opposite of thrilled that she was wasting his money. His $50,000 is a lot of money in 1970 terms, and she just threw it away because what she wanted was to be a housewife. So, in the minds of the people paying for the things that you're doing, I'm very conscientious of this as someone who asks for strangers to buy me dinner and pay for my lunches and help me become not homeless anymore. Um, what you do with your time matters. And so that's why I don't spend my time lying about how I spend my time. If my time management sucks, I'll get on these videos and I'll say, my time management has sucked. I've spent my time for the last few hours with my dick in my hand and I'm embarrassed about it, but that's where we're at. And also nobody has invested in my education before Mr. S. Mr. S has spent more money to make sure that I can chase my dreams than anybody in my life, and that includes my parents. My parents made me pay for that stuff. My parents wouldn't even send me to school with money so that I could eat at lunch. My parents made me do the cooking and the cleaning when I came home. What are we talking about? It's like I was talking to my life today, and I was talking about how, um, like if you want to be set up in life and you want to have a good life, what you need to have are rich parents who love you. And I said something to the effect of, I don't have whatever in my life. I don't have a home, maybe, because my parents don't love me. And somebody was like, please explain what you mean, that your parents didn't love you. And I'm like, my parents didn't love me. Do you really want me? Do I really want to go down the list like you're my therapist of every single way that my parents manifested their hatred of me? No, you don't. And no, you're not my therapist. No, I'm not going to. Anyway, she's starting to talk about Tellus and Adonis, and I'm bored with this book because I know this information. I knew it was from 1920, but um, the information is just not relevant to me. It's too old. And so we get on the boat from Paloom, like Menwu told us to do, and then we're going to go to Samarkand. I think that's what it's called. Maybe we're going to Samayam. What we got here? This is Puffed. We talked to him. You looking for a ship 32 to Paloom? No. This is the port of Puffed. Salamand is to the north, and to our east is Bafsk. To our north, huh? Heard that. My face is covering up the mini-map, so I guess we'll figure it out. Alright, now, this walk is going to be a little different than the last ones, because, nah, we still need the money. Fuck it. We kind of need to make our spells better, but fuck it. They'll get as we go into this next place. Nah, there we go. I'll do it next turn. Kyle asks. Noise. Kyle wants to ask you a few questions. pikes. I guess they're actually called, they're called pole arms. A pike is a specific kind of pole arm. All right, so we go fire on the group, protect on the group, thunder on the group, and defend. Fire! Ouchies. And then, oh, I mean, it doesn't super matter. What have I done? That's kind of what the battle theme sounds like. Oh, Mr. S, you want to actually hit that thing eventually. Thank you. She can change from staves. And we can get above level 3, as you saw with our weapons here. So she can go back to unarmed. Nope. Which, as you see, reduces our magic interference to 8. We're almost to town. How close is Blink to leveling? Not. Keep moving. And then we get in here and we say, hey, everybody, it's us. You don't know who we are. Life and teleport. We want. Teleports the party out of it, yeah. 2K, we're not going to worry about grinding that up. We have story shit to accomplish right now because we have a temporary party member, a guest party member named Minwoo, and we want to put him to work. So let's come talk to this chick. I love Joseph, but I know that if I'm around, I would just get in the way. Hello, Joseph. You have business with me? Wild Rose. You're here for Princess Hilda. A little short in the tooth, aren't you? You kids can't fool me. Mithril, he says. Mithril? I haven't found any yet. I do have a few leads, but I don't plan on sharing what I do know with a bunch of perfect strangers. I'm gonna need you to do a little something to prove you are who you say you are. There's a bunch of people from Salamand who are being forced to work in the cave at Simmet Falls. Rescue them and we'll talk. Heard that. Can I sleep in your bed? No. Leaving. So now we need to go find Simmet Falls. Simmet Falls is beyond the mountain range to the south of Salamand. That's where the Empire's been minding its mithril. Heard that. So we know where Simmet Falls is now. How are we doing for time? Hour and a half? I think I looked at this just 15 minutes ago. I can probably relax on that. You got axe phobia? How about some exposure therapy? That's what Kyle says when he's carrying an axe. Actually, it's probably what Mr. S says when he's carrying an axe. That guy's irresponsible. You got to keep that guy away from the sharp objects. What am I doing? I just bought something. I don't know what the hell I just bought. Didn't I just buy, like, shields? Yeah, I just bought 2 bronze shields. Okay, so he's wearing a shield. So he can improve his shield. We need more monies. And we should really upgrade our shit before we move on. So let's get some monies. Yowza! You want to level up your spells. Just keep doing what you're doing. And yeah. level up the protect, level up the far, whoosh, one at a time. Each one of these spells gives him experience toward level 2. So he's going to get to cast it 7 times this fight. Let's see if this works. Let's see if Kyle continues attacking the party if I'm in auto like this. It speeds up time is why we're doing it. Far, and then we're going to go shale, and then we're going to go thunder, and continue. Oosh. Shale. Great job, Mouse. You're my favorite purple-haired chick in the party. Crushing it with those red boots. I tell you what. Alrighty then. That's going to happen, and that's happening, and that's still happening the way it's happening. Moving on. And then Minwoo this whole time is just like, are you 3 insane? You cast spells at the enemy. Mr. S is like, yeah, but how am I supposed to practice my heal spell if we're never hurt? Minwoo's just standing there with his head just crouched down on the fucking floor, hands over his head, just, please, God! Mr. S can use his bow next turn. Kyle can probably use his weapon. We do want to get our spells all to level 2, though, so how much? Not a lot. That's probably Senate Falls down there to the left. We can probably see it. She said to the south of, and so that's probably the falls right there. So it's probably that cave that was above them. Foosh. Foosh. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, Mouse. Your HP is doing great. I love that Minwoo's magic defenses are going up every level, like after every fight. Everybody has room to improve, Minwoo. You're no different than anybody else. But you might want to just go ahead and huddle. Because this encounter isn't juice that's worth the squeeze. So we're going to beat the hell out of each other for a little while. And yeah, I know you got cure. I know you got heals. Just ride the bench, big guy. You'll be alright. I promise. We're going to drag you along on our adventure. And you'll be alright. We're done with this, by the way. Love it. Kyle's evasion is already up to 43. That's great. We don't actually want to go that way, though, I don't think. That feels like it's the long way. Alright, and then we go protect, and then we go thunder, and you defend. Zap. And see, depending on how you use your spells or your abilities, what weapons you use, you determine what class these guys are. And see, I'm not so much worried about making them a class or specializing them in anything. I mean, we are kind of specializing in things as we go along. But for now, the goal is just character growth. It's like, Mr. S is already out of mana, MP. So it's like, we're not going to get to the bottom of a dungeon using spells if we're already out. And I love this progression so much. If we can't get to the dungeon using spells, we have to come back to town to heal because we're just not good enough yet. Basically. So this is a grind that I like a lot. Every single thing that I do is incentivized by XP gain. Every single thing has experience gained. Oh, I meant to not do shell. Whoops. There's nothing I'm not incentivized to be doing at any given moment in combat. And I love that. I genuinely love that. It keeps me engaged. I say that even as I put my controller on my belly. I just play with one hand. I'm intellectually engaged. I feel like I'm improving as we go along. Masochism, the magic behind magic defense. That's right. That's how you get better at magic, at defending yourself from magic. It's like, it's like venom. On some level, I'm sure that the way you get better at getting punched in the face is by being punched in the face, and I'm not being funny, actually. I'm sure that there's a certain amount of training in boxing is just getting punched in the face over and over and over until it's not traumatic to you anymore. And so that's how I maybe what I'm doing is I'm justifying it, but that's how I role play. That's how I rationalize this combat loop. I think it's brilliant, and everybody else hates it, but I think it's brilliant. Maybe not everybody else. You know what I'm saying, though. So many long time, not even casual, real Final Fantasy fans who've played all the games, love all of them, hate this game. And I think for the way that it gets me emotional, and I really have trouble putting it down, even when I'm bored of the grinding. If I put on Neebs or an audiobook and I'm paying attention to the audiobook while I'm playing this, I can play 15 hours and accomplish nothing in the story. I love this. It's just they want you. These games are about the combat, man. They're about the random encounters. They're about the boss fights. That's what they're for, is those things. And this lets you get good. This lets you get good at your pace, your way. And I like that. It doesn't put any demands on me. It gives me the next story beat and then it says, get there in your time or don't. Do whatever you want. We don't care. And so, like my buddy Mr. S, he calls this war profiteering. And it's kind of what we're doing. Profiteering is really where we jack up the prices and we profit off the fact that the war is happening. But we are training, damn it. We are getting better because the war is happening. We are going to contribute to this war. We are going to turn the tide of this war because our brother is a casualty of this war. And we're like watching all these, we've seen a person die. The stakes are high. And so we're taking it seriously. The empire is growing in strength. We know that we have to keep them out of Bafsk. So we have to get strong enough to compete, and quickly. I'll just tell you now, the Empire soldiers like that are in the city of Finn, those motherfuckers will hit you for 500 damage. So we got to be ready. And like, if I had suffered a wipe, if I had just gone and suffered the wipe, you would probably feel the intensity that I feel. And maybe I should have, just for the story. But I don't like wipes. I don't like wiping. She just crossed level 3, right? With empty. Yeah, so she can go back. No, she can't either, because he's wearing her bow. Is he done with the bow yet? Yeah. But Kyle doesn't know how to use bows. Kyle's taking his time. Kyle will be just fine. Kyle is taking his time learning how to use spears. And the training part. is a part of fantasy. If you've read the Wheel of Time series, Robert Jordan, he does have Rand spend a lot of the book practicing using his sword. These weren't kids who were raised to be soldiers. These were kids that a bad thing happened to, and so they picked up weapons. They're blank slates as far as combat skill. I mean, the queen told us as soon as we met her, you guys are a liability. And so now it's my responsibility to fix that. And on some level, like this, what we're doing, if you were to ask Madge, he made a joke about it when I said in one of my shorts that you don't want me to be your teacher. He made a joke in the comments saying that my methods are brutal. But I think he would tell you that my methods may be brutal, but my methods are effective. It didn't take him, and I shouldn't talk about my successes, but he is one of my success stories. It didn't take him months and years to bounce back from a surprise divorce. It took him weeks because my methods are brutal, but they're effective. My dad is still bouncing back from his divorce, still trying to put his identity back together without talking about my mother. And it's been more than 20 years. So when I say that it didn't take him a couple of weeks, or it didn't take him even months, it took him a couple of weeks to bounce back. The alternative is 20 years. The alternative is never bouncing back. And it only cost him $25 a month. He was my first subscriber. As soon as I made the Patreon available, he subbed. And so for that, I thank you, Madge. He recognized my worth early. Mr. S, if you're being jealous, don't. You're out there. You jumped on board quick. But I haven't had to get my hands dirty in your life fixing or encouraging you, telling you how, and pushing you, fighting you to fix yourself the way I have with other people, including my ex-wife, ex-girlfriends. It is time to get back to town. This is why we had Mouse work on her MP exclusively there for a while. Mouse's fire leveled up. That's great news. Kyle's spears are never going to level up if I don't have him use them. Fun fact. I also love about this game that I haven't even bought a single item yet. I love not needing to rely on items. Ugh, my belly button is stretching and tearing open because of my hernia. Herniae, itches and hurts. It's unpleasant to look at. Ooh, look at that. You can buy a new bow, because we need one. These are all better than what we're using. So let's go one and done. And who did it? It was her that did it. Longbow, bronze shield. Why are his hands empty? Because he's trying to get to empty, or he's trying to get to unarmed 4. How much money we got? Not shit. Did not get much money for that exploration. Oh boy. That's gonna happen to me every time. Off we go. Soldier! Hey, soldier boy. You were a bad rapper. That right there. Redundant. Good rapper is a contradiction in terms. I'm a mean person. I probably don't mean that, but it is fun to say. Because people get so butthurt about it. You're not allowed to say that anymore either. People get hurt in their colons. For those of you who are concerned about such things, I am down to $2. So if you can find it in your heart to donate even so much as $1, that will help me make sure that I get to eat tomorrow. I'm probably not going to try to afford all of the stuff that I could, because really I'm just trying to get my spells to level 2. Once I get my spells to level 2, we'll worry about other things. Trying to power level our spells real quick before we go to this next dungeon, because I'm not certain that we won't need them to be level 2, but we'll have level 2 spells and basically a few level 4 weapons. We'll just be ahead of the curve. I don't know what the curve is, but we'll be ahead of it. We will be prepared, and that's what matters. I like to be prepared. My headphones are going to die any minute now. Yep, thank you for beeping to let me know that I was not wrong. Alright, when I say headphones, I mean my right headphone. Singular. Here, Menwu, do you want to participate? This is what Cure 7 looks like. Wow. And I don't know whether the spells have a level cap before 99. I don't know. It might be level 9. It might be level 99. I have no idea. I don't expect that we're going to be getting much above level 7 if we get to level 9 with any of our spells. I don't much imagine I'm going to be trying to get to level 10 with any of them. If I do that, I'm doing it on my turn, my time. I might end up recording that time, but it'll be kind of like my loop hero today, where it won't be a lot of this, it won't be a lot of the talky talk, but it will be gameplay. I'll do my best, but until my idiot ass can replace those microphones, gameplay during the day is going to have to be pretty muted, and you're going to get to listen to a lot of conversations around me. Again, kind of like today's work. It's what I get. I really don't know. I've been so careful, is the thing. Like, the reason it kind of bugs me is I've been so careful to know exactly where the fob and the mics are at all times. Like, to the point that I'll open the bag and double check that the fob is in there. So I have no idea how it disappeared. It was in my phone. I brought my phone inside, set up, took my fob out to charge it, and from there, it vanished. From taking it out, no idea. I just have no idea. And that gets at me, because I should be better than that. I'm not that forgetful or absent-minded. I haven't lost a single weed vape. I haven't lost any of my nicotine. I haven't lost any of my charge cords, any of my charge ports. I haven't lost anything else. But god damn if my trickster or god or the devil himself just does not want me to have a working wireless microphone right now. And so we move on. Hopefully the audio isn't so bad that it's unlistenable. Thank you, Mr. S. I was not... I hope you know that I wasn't pressuring you for that. But thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I try not to panic. I talked this morning even about how I try to trust in God, that God will put it out there on somebody's heart that I need their intervention, and I try to do this to do this. I'm here to stand in solidarity with my guy who, if I understood what he was telling me this afternoon, he's only working 4 days this week instead of 7 days, which means that I get to out Iron Man somebody for once again in my life. I get to be the guy who's that Iron Man, and that the young kids get to look up at and be like, wow, he's pulling 712s. We can stop our bitching. That's not always good. I did it with a smile on my face. I know a lot of people who work hours like that, once they're in their 30s, who do it with a bad attitude, and I did it so those kids didn't have to. Frankly, I didn't want to be at home, because if I was at home, the girl that I was living with and who was telling me that she loved me and wanted to have a life with me was having sexy talks with other people on the internet while I was in the house. So I just didn't want to be home. Do I have a. I probably don't, do I? No, of course I don't. How much money do I have? Not a lot. I'm going to do something a little bit probably annoying from your perspective. I'm going to head back to town real quick. One last time. Before we make it out to this cave. I'm not feeling. Well, I was just going to say, I'm not feeling super fatigued. Um, We're at 2 hours. Normally by 2 hours, I'm feeling pretty fatigued. We're at 10:30. I got about an hour and a half left in me, and I'm only at 70% battery. So maybe if the audio isn't unlistenable, maybe for now, for now, not having the mic is the best thing, because this has only burned up 30% of my battery, and because the mic fob also charges from my phone's battery. It burns up my battery a little faster. I've only used 37% of my external too, so I've only used uh, 60% of my potential 120% batteries. I stopped paying attention when I was doing the talk to do math. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe if it's not insufferable, because the reason that Mr. S and I agreed that I needed the mic was because I was trying to give you game audio, and then after the mic worked, I stopped using the game audio because they were hitting me with copyright strike, and that was stressing me the fuck out over the game audio, not the game itself. So we'll figure it out. We will make this work. As a team, we will figure out what works for my audience, right? I don't own you, but for those of you who like my shit for whatever reason, we'll figure out how to make it work for you, even if it takes your money and you have feelings about how I'm letting you down with your money. I respect that. It keeps me awake nights. I never learned how to talk like a grifter. I never learned how to I never learned how to ask people for money that they really didn't have to give away. I just worked. And the work that I did was hospitality and service for sure, but I just did the work. It was like when I worked at the ice cream parlor. Um, I made $12.50 an hour, and the kids used to. We all made at least $12 an hour. Um, I was making 12, maybe 13 and a quarter at the end, and or the kids that worked with me, they used to bitch about how they didn't get tips, and it's like, you're getting $12.50 an hour. You don't also need cash. You don't also need a tip. You are being paid adequately to do the job properly. If you go above and beyond and you do it better than properly, I used to over dip. So that was one of the things I did. If it was a 2.5 ounce dip, I'd give you 265, 275. If you were a hot chick, I'd give you three. And that's where you expect people to tip. I never expected people to tip, but it's like if I was going to accept a tip for doing the job at all, it's because I'm over dipping. I'm going above and beyond what's asked of the paycheck. Why did I open this? Because somebody just gained a skill level. Damn it. I should have said it out loud. It's harder to remember this stuff on the fly. It's almost impossible for me to remember this stuff on the fly. And it's harder to do when I'm talking. Because it doesn't matter. I don't need to care. I just am the way I am. I am the way I am, you know? That was a thing my dad used to say. My dad's still alive. We don't have a relationship. We could, I guess. It's too much energy for me. He's let me down too many times. If he's listening to this, it's really about that. It's just really about too many times. Disappointed me too many times. And so there's forgiveness, there's no grudge. I just don't have to I don't have to create opportunities. Just because I'm giving him mercy into the future for his bad behavior doesn't mean that I also have to create opportunities for him to let me down. You don't have to make opportunities for the people that hurt you to hurt you. That's not withholding forgiveness from them. Forgiveness is not bringing up their past behavior. Forgiveness is not holding their past behavior against them. I'm not holding his past behavior against him. I'm just not anticipating that he's going to suddenly be a different person today than he was the last time I talked to him. Because who is? It's like we've all had that person show up in our life, and maybe we haven't all, but we've all had that person show up in our life and be like, I'm totally changed. And it's like, then why do you sound exactly the same? And why are you doing exactly the same things? And so I'm a cynic, right? I'm a cynic in the case, in this, and not in the modern, oh, I just like to be negative, right? No, I'm a cynic in the classical philosophical Diogenes the cynic context. And that just means I speak the truth and I look at things as they are. I don't get my feelings wrapped up in trying to pretend that things could or should be something else. It's like you'll hear people say, um, you know, I don't like that this is the way it is. And somebody will go, well, that's just the way it is. And then they'll respond, well, it shouldn't be. But that it shouldn't be in defiance doesn't change anything. It doesn't fix anything. Well, it should be this way. Okay, well, it's not. And if you feel strongly enough about it to talk about it, do something about it. You run for office. You lobby. You write the bill. You get the union together. You do it. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what are you doing, Shaggy? And the answer is, do you not see it? Really? Like, don't you see it on the screen? Can't you hear it? I was alone, and I was in grinding, grueling agony from very real abuse, torture. And so I just opened up my life, my interests, and my hopes, my pain. I opened up myself to the world. So that's how I'm not doing whatever. I don't remember what we're talking about, to be honest with you, because I saw that Mysterious finally got his fucking ice. His blizzard finally leveled up. So when we get to town, and we restore their MP, we can go back to auto attacking and just worrying about our weapons for a while. He says immediately, starting to cast Blizzard again. Okay. I actually don't know where our stopping points are going to be in this game because I'm not pacing it out about an hour every story beat. Um, and this is a fairly long game compared to the first Final Fantasy. Fairly long game indeed. Cow with the 400 HP. That's funny. The save I just accidentally deleted, my personal save on this game. Um, my Kyle, whose name is Guy or Guy, I pronounce it Guy like the French. Um, he was my lowest HP party member for some reason. I just could not get him to improve his HP. Maria was taking an absolute ass beating in the beginning of the game, so she actually has my highest HP in that had. I saved over that party by accident, but had. And I think that's all very funny. How even this, it's just different every time you play it. Every time you play it, it's materially different because they level up differently. I know. We're taking her from single digit magic interference to greater than single digit magic interference, triple digit, in fact. But she'll be all right. She'll be all right. Did we go to the end before we did that? Oh, yeah, we did. Because we're smart. We're smart. How long have we been going? Exactly 2 hours. Fucking crushing it. Really, we kind of are actually at about an hour per story beat. This is balanced to where it takes you about an hour to get to each goal. And that's really, really, if just between you and me, I don't care if we're talking about a modern or a, ooh, wait a minute, or a vintage video game. An hour between goals is what it should take. An hour between large cycle goals is how long your gameplay cycle should be. So if you're developing a game, it should take you an hour between goals that you feel like you can put it down. So like when I talk about a just one more turn game, your just one more turn should begin at an hour and it should hit strike again every hour. That way people who say, well, I've only got about a half hour or 15 minutes to play, they're still accomplishing things over the course of their play sessions, their multiple play sessions. What you don't want to get into is a situation where your cycle is random, like Final Fantasy VII, where your narrative cycle is random. You don't want to be in that spot where you can't gauge, okay, is this going to take me into an extended story section? Is this going to take me into a really overlong dungeon? What is this about to do to me? Is not what you want to happen in your game. That's when people say, I just don't have time to game, or I just can't feel like I can spend enough time to adequately feel like I'm enjoying the game. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about a gameplay cycle, a gameplay loop that's longer than an hour. They can't just sit down and play it for a little bit and feel like they're progressing within the game. And that's a real problem with modern games, with AAA games especially. Mobile games keep you in about a 2 to 15 minute loop. So that's different. And then I haven't played a AAA game, a legitimate release that wasn't by Nintendo, and since before COVID, since about 2018. Couldn't afford it. I spent all my money on my girlfriend, keeping her happy. So legitimately the last AAA title release that I played was Kingdom Hearts 3. That's how long it's been. I played Kingdom Hearts 3 because I had just broke up with her ass. And the girl I was hooking up with thought I was joking when I said that I was taking 3 days off from work. I had requested 3 days off from work. I was using my vacation time. I was playing Kingdom Hearts. And if she came over, I wasn't turning it off. So she comes over and she strips down into the buff. And she thought that I was going to turn off Kingdom Hearts 3 for her. And I said, bitch, I have actually waited my entire adult life for this. I didn't even wait this long to lose my virginity. You will wait. And she did. And then she started trying to fuck my friends, so she had to go. I don't know what that's about, dudes. And dudettes. What is that about? Chicks trying to fuck all your friends. I get it with dudes. I know why dudes want to fuck all your friends. It just doesn't make sense to me for a chick to want to fuck her boyfriend's friends. He doesn't fuck his friends. I've never understood it. I'm sure that there's psychological literature about it. I'm sure that there's a lot of good. I'm sure there's a lot of good literature about it. But it's happened to me so many times in my life that I just cannot comprehend the why. Why? A stranger or a coworker or a friend, I get. Like her friends, like her acquaintances, I get. Sleeping with your own acquaintances. But my friends? It's weird. To me, it's weird. It was upsetting for sure. But not like life destabilizing upsetting, not like movie dramatic upsetting where guys will just throw absolute temper tantrums and stuff. Nah, I just find somebody else to spend my time and money on and stop spending money on women. Just stop giving women gifts. That sounds, I don't know, hateful or whatever, but you don't want to hear about the number of women I tore through with that mentality. Just treat them like adults instead of children. Try to treat everyone like an adult instead of a child. I don't think anybody likes to be treated like a child. But I know that's not true because the whole little kink is about pretending you're an infant or a pre-sexually mature child. And that's why I'm single, folks. That's why I'm single. Because I'm nobody's dad. Even if I were somebody's dad, I wouldn't be talking to them like they were a baby. Nope, you're going to be talked to like you were an intelligent human being. All right, Kyle, that was pathetic. She got a crit, so I can't brag on her for that. And I don't think we're going to get more experience for our weapons after level 4 in this dungeon. But it's all good. I genuinely hope that I don't sound like I hate women. I love women. I love all human beings. I don't understand why the women that I've loved, the particular women that I've loved, have done things that could only hurt my feelings. I don't understand that. She's done with Bo, right? She needs to go to... We'll put her with Stave. It's actually a mace. It's not even a stave. And shield. And then he will get... You're dropping your weapons entirely and going unarmed. Let's do it. You know, you remember, because you've watched all of my Final Fantasy 1 plays throughs now, and you saw how the shit shack went. You know how much I love monks and unarmed attacks. So you don't need to be surprised why I'm never reluctant to take their weapons out of their hands. I think it's just awesome. I always wanted to play a D&D monk. The thing with D&D, though, is it takes too long to level. It just takes way too long to level. Even in 4th edition, you don't get enough every time you level to not have mastered and gotten bored with your level inside 3 combat encounters. And it takes like 12 or more to level, especially at higher levels. And so I don't know about that, man. That's not how I DM. When I give out way more experience than what the Dungeon Master's Guide wants you to. Really, I just don't divide it up by the party. I just give everybody the amount of experience of every uh, whatever thing in the fight. The way they want you to do it, right, is if you fight 4 rats and each rat is worth 1 experience, that you have 4 experience divided by the number of party members, and I just don't like that. It takes too fucking long. And who wants to be level 7 for a month? Like, we want to be level 7, and then we want to be level 8, and we want to be level 9. We would eventually like to get to level 20 or 30 or wherever the DM is stopping it. We would eventually like to see the end of the player's handbook, please. So few people actually ever see the end of the player's handbook because the DM is just not interested in balancing those ridiculously unbalanced fights, but that's on the DM. I say that it's on the DM. It's on the DMG. It's on Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast and the Dungeons and Dragons folks for not better play testing and play balancing in-game play. But whatever. What do I know? There's a reason that people like me like the first Final Fantasy. And so what I mean by that is there's a reason that people still play a D&D 2nd edition. Because it was easier to balance. And it was a lot easier to kill your party members before they got to level 12. So you didn't have to worry about running an in-game campaign. There are a lot of DMs who feel that, who actually DM that way. Trying to kill you so they don't have to worry about doing a good job. That sucks. Hey, thanks for the feedback that the audio isn't bad, Mr. S. I do appreciate that. I hope you're enjoying. I hope that you're not getting on the camera. I think you wouldn't be texting me if you were seeing me scroll down. But I hope you're enjoying. Why am I not reading this? I like this game. I'm so sorry, guys. I think that. How's Paul talk? I'm Paul. I think that dastardly Borgen's been holding her hostage to threaten Joseph. Princess Hilda told you to bring her back some mithril, right? Well, that's normally where I step in. I figured out that's. Wait a minute. I figured out that this was where the mithril was coming from easy enough. So I thought I'd get the jump on you guys and nab the mithril before you could get here. Only I messed up and got caught. Me, of all people, Paul. It does. This is a real laugh. Well, I know when I'm in over my head. So long. But don't worry, I'll take everyone here with me. Thanks for saving us. I owe you one. I'm Paul. Why is his name Paul? Oh my god. Why is his name Paul? I don't know. But it's good writing. It actually is good writing. I'm making fun of it because I'm doing a stupid voice. But I'm not doing a stupid voice because it's bad writing like I normally would. I start doing stupid voices when I'm bored and annoyed. I don't know why I remember why. I don't know why I'm sticking with it. far tome. Good shit. I'm just stoned enough that I'm goofy, I guess. Look at the map here. Run to this side, even though I know there's nothing in there. There's probably nothing to the down. This is... You don't understand. I have wanted to play Final Fantasy II. My first video, woke. My first video on YouTube was a Final Fantasy II screen grab that melted. My laptop wasn't good enough. And so the video is all pixelated and fucked, and I think it looks really cool, so I left it. But nobody else likes it. But I have wanted to play Final Fantasy II for an audience, or at least just show people that this game can be so much fun. And the tedious nonsense of fighting your party only takes about an hour. You only have to do that for about an hour of real-time gameplay. And now look at us. People will say online, like, you have to do that throughout the whole game to stay on top of the game. And it's like, no. Absolutely, I'm demonstrating that you absolutely do not. You have to do it for maybe an hour. Maybe an hour. You baby. And it's funny anyway. I don't know why. I know why they're annoyed about it. Because you have to be careful and you have to do the inputs. But back in the day, we didn't have an auto attack. So just suck it up, Buttercup, and play the game as it's intended. Fucking A. If the game as intended isn't fun, I played half an hour of Potion Permit today, and the game Potion Permit as intended is fucking bad. So I quit. You don't have to keep playing, but try it as intended. God damn. Quit bitching about, oh, it's intended to do this and I refuse to try. Go fuck yourself. I hate that. I hate it because that's called active resistance to change. Get over yourself. Two things that are guaranteed in life. Change and your death. You need to go up here. And I do feel that strongly about it. It's really not a big deal. Just play the game the way they intended it, and if you don't like it, turn it off. What you don't need to do is talk to anybody about how you didn't like it. Just turn it off. If you're not going to make a hate play series about how much you fucking hate it. Like, I'm not going to talk about Potion. It's never going to come up again. I'm just going to go, oh yeah, I didn't like that. Somebody's going to go, well, what do you mean? I thought it was really cute. I'm going to go, well, I really liked Atelier Iris, and it seems like what they're trying to do is be a Atelier Iris clone. And so every decision that they made in the way they designed Potion Permit, I hated. I hated every single design choice. Down from the letting me pick a gendered character in gendered clothing, and then not using my gendered pronoun in the text boxes. You really couldn't put a detector switch in your code for which character I chose? No? I'm a they? I'm out. I don't like that shit. And I'm not going to get on Twitter and I'm not going to get on YouTube and make videos about how social justice warriors are ruining everything, because they're not. I just don't like, if you're going to make it to where the characters are gendered, that the people who talk to them or about them don't gender them. Don't gender the characters. And you don't have this problem to begin with. Just don't make the characters obviously a gender, if you're so concerned about it. But all that means is that Potion Permit's intended audience is college-educated white women, and I'm not that. I'm not college-educated, I'm not white, and I'm not a woman. I'm not rich enough to be white, folks. Economically speaking, I'm Latino. I'm a Latin teenage female. Mr. S with the sword and the knife, Mouse with the staff and the shield. I don't know why I couldn't identify that without reading it, but I couldn't. Mouse's evasion is 54%. Hilarious. I just got a teleport tome. Mouse has a teleport tome. That just saves us 1,000 gold. Gil. That saves us a lot of coin, yo. That's a lot of enemies. Who needs friends when you have anemones like that? Shut up. I know that none of those are anemones. I also know that I probably didn't pronounce anemone right. That's a hard word for me to say. I should not have used AoE on these. I made a mistake. I forgot that bombs in this blow up. If you do damage to them, they blow up for the damage you did. Which is smart, and I like it. Damage you if you do damage to them without killing them. I mean, we have so much MP. I'm sure you see it, but we have so much MP that I could have been just spamming spells this whole dungeon, and we would be in very, very low risk of running out of MP. That's why I grind up and I work on specific stats. You work on health, you work on MP. Everything else just comes naturally. And maybe I'm a prodigy. Maybe I'm just smarter than these people. Maybe that's why you watch me. I don't think that. But it's possible. Anything's possible. A Fister level 4 for Kyle. Kyle finally caught up to the level 4 train. Is he? No. Buddy. Daggers and swords. I started to bitch at him for something that the others haven't done either. I don't think they're level... Yeah, they're not all maxed out at 4. It was 3 that we were trying to get him to max out to, and we just went ahead from 3 to 4. Yeah, keep working on your cure, and no. Yeah. Do it. Blink. And I like seeing the hits. That goes away probably by Final Fantasy V. I know it's not in Final Fantasy VI, but I do like seeing the hits. That's a that's a D&D 1-2 thing. It goes away, and so your damage just goes up because you're doing more damage now. But I like seeing the number of times that I hit them scale with the skill that I have in the weapon. I think that's a pretty cool little mechanic. I'm already excited to show you 3 because 3 is pretty cool as well. We're gonna play and beat this. We're gonna beat this into dust, and it's gonna be awesome. We're kicking this Sasquatch in his nutsack. And we're gonna cut his head off, and we're gonna throw it at his friend and scare him like hell. That was gory. Oh. We're Germans, you see. Germans in the Garmani sense, not in the modern sense. La 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 la, we are good for health. Don't need to work on that anymore. Just do the killing. Hee hee hee. Hee hee hee. Ho ho ho. Ha ha ha. Yes. Oh, that's why I was bitching at him for finally joining the train. They need to switch weapons. He needs him a mace. And see, we're going to leave the knife on because the knife is pretty cool. it does help your evasion sometimes. So your evasion goes down if you don't have a knife in your offhand. How cool is that? Your attack goes up a little bit, but your evasion goes down. How cool is that? You have a parrying dagger, so you can parry. Everything I want in a video game. Stats that make sense. Character progression that makes sense intuitively. It's like, oh, if I have this dagger in the offhand, I'm probably going to be a little bit weaker because of dual wield rules, but I should have a higher parry rate, right? Neat. That's why you dual wield in the first place. That's why you use a dagger or a dirk or a short sword in your offhand when you're dual wielding. It's a defensive weapon. Oh, and look at that. That looks like a boss. And we look like we are plenty ready to take on a boss. Kyle's over here with his bulging HP muscles. Heh, rebels. Never thought I'd have to deal with your kind down here. Well, if you think you're getting mithril, you'd be right. Wait a minute. Oh. Continue reading the sentence. Well, if you think you're getting mithril, you'd be right. My mithril blade straight through your heart. That needs a colon for that sentence to read and make sense in the way they want it to. I am unapologetically a grammar nerd. Uh-oh. We put weak weapons in our hands to fight a boss. We're okay. We gonna be alright. It's gonna take us some time to burn him down, but we'll get there. We're not going to keep attacking him with our weapons and doing ineffectual damage for long, I promise. The boss fight music is actually pretty cool. It's got like this, like, driving bass riff under it, like a guitar thing going, like a and then it's got like singy ladies going like and then there's like a flute kind of doing what the ladies are doing. So it's like a, it doesn't sound like your typical boss fight music. It's kind of cool. It's kind of got some Zelda to it. I'm into it. I like it. Very little about this game that I don't just like on its face. But I've done a lot of bitching. I've done a lot of bitching in recent weeks about the sound design in these games, in particular Chrono Trigger. I don't know why I emphasize those syllables in that way, but in particular Chrono Trigger, I haven't even been looking at how much damage these spells are doing, because it don't matter. It don't matter. We're gonna gain so much experience from fucking killing this guy slowly like this. It don't matter. It don't matter. He ain't got shit for HP anyway, because he's all defense, and that's why you gotta have level 2 spells, folks. That's why I wanted level 2 offensive spells. Kyle with the sword and knife. Big gain. 4 evasion for Kyle. Big gains. Big gains. And the mithril's just in a chest at the bottom of the mine, like mithril is. Like ores do. And they just sit in chests at the bottom of caves. Da-da-da-dee-dee-dee. Don't you know that's like how gold is found all over the world? And that's why we like teleport. Man, I like this game so much. I really do. If it sounds like I do, And so remember when we were talking in Final Fantasy the First about how I got into the habit around the PlayStation era, around Final Fantasy 2, of healing in combat instead of outside combat? Yes, I get experience for this. Yeah, I got a marginal amount of experience. But what I don't do is level up my intellect or spirit or MP for doing it outside of combat. So if I heal outside of combat, I don't level up my base stats. And that's probably also a mistake that these people who don't like this game are making, is they're not using their shit. They're saving their mana, their MP. They're saving their spells for boss fights. And it's like, okay, well, they're not going to get better in that fight enough. You're not going to see an improvement in that fight, and so they're not going to get better enough in that fight that they're not going to be a liability on your next boss fight. And like, I even saw a short. I saw a short on YouTube that was talking about the development of this game, and it was talking about how your spells can become underpowered. And it's like, what are you talking about? Can become underpowered? If you're using a level 1 fire spell at the end of the first Final Fantasy, it ain't gonna do shit for damage. If you never, ever, ever do a push up, the time that you are required to do a push up for the narrative gate in your life is gonna be a fucking nightmare for you. And I'm talking about in real life. Like, if there's ever a moment in your life where somebody's like, all right, this gun, your head, do a push up or survive, and you've never done one, you're in a world of hurt. So yeah, you got to cast your spells in order for them to get better. That's why, like in Chrono Trigger, I actively dislike that you just spontaneously learn new elemental spells. You just spontaneously learn new spells. Well, if I can just spontaneously learn spells, why didn't I just spontaneously learn the spells I've got? Why did I have to go through a whole rigmarole? See what I'm saying? I like consistency. I don't think that's asking so much. Maybe it is. Clearly, it was of the Enix development team that made Chrono Trigger. Clearly, that was just asking too much. And here we go. How are we doing for time? Right on time. Right on time. Look at how well we're doing as a team, guys. Your encouragement, your viewership, Mr. S's conversation as we go through this. You'd better get that Mithra back to Altair. Prince Hilda is waiting. And this show, because of your patience and your good faith, is getting better. I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like I haven't shut up for hours. And a lot of it is just my enthusiasm for this game. The story is good. The characters are all good. They're all fleshed out and real. And talk about sequels. Improvement from one game to another. Holy shit, this isn't even the same game. It's a very similar combat mechanic. But you want to talk about game? Almost an entirely different game. Same genre, naturally. But as far as a game that engages back and gives you something to engage in, that's not just a goal because you paid for the cartridge, this is just a head and shoulders superior game. And you may have noticed there's absolutely none of the agony that I go through at the beginning of Final Fantasy, deciding what the party composition I'm going to use is going to be. Absolutely none of it. Name your four and go. There's a short, very brief, unskippable cutscene that sets up the story of the game, and the story is cliched, but interesting. We're dropped right in the middle of a conflict. Our characters are so weak they're immediately killed. That's awesome. That's a story. It's so much better. So much better than Final Fantasy VII. Just the story of this game, the narrative of this game. I'm engaged and want to participate in a way that I just don't in Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII. Fuck, Symphony of the Night for that matter. It's one of the worst games I've ever played. I was watching people play it today, trying to talk myself into returning to it on Saturday because I have to start over. I don't know why I've been locked out of. Wait a minute. Going the wrong way. I don't know why I've been locked out of this room. I don't know how they thought I was going to find this room without a strategy guide. But this room I'm trying to get into in Castlevania it's for whatever reason it's glitched or it's timed me out or something. And so I have to start the game over. And I don't want to because I don't like playing it. And I don't want to be weak again. So we might have to find another action RPG to play. And maybe we can get $10 in donations from someone who's not Mr. S. And if I can get $10, I'll pick up it's called Gaia? No. Mana. Illusion of Mana? Something like that. Another old Squaresoft game, action RPG, that I've never finished. I've gotten all the way to where the game opens up and goes open world, and basically it's like, all right, go beat it now. And I said, well, if it's open world, I should explore it. And then I saved and went to bed, and then I said, well, it's open world, and all I have to do is come back and beat it, so I'll just do that later. And then enough days passed that I forgot the combat mechanic. So I'm not fighting the boss in a game that I don't remember how to play. That doesn't make sense. You know, I'm not fighting the game's final boss if I don't even remember the basic combat. And so that might be the point of like the open world section. But I don't really, I genuinely don't understand why games do that. Why did I come here? Did I come here to rest? I don't remember why I came here. That's upsetting. Did I come here to rest? No, I must have just gotten confused and came here because I could. Or because I went the wrong way. I went the wrong way. That's why I went back. Habit. I know that it's suboptimal to level my spells this way. But we're okay. We're not trying to be optimal right now. We're just trying to get back to the story beat. We'll go back to leveling up our dudes when we're in when we're at the next story beat, or when we're in the next dungeon. But right now, we're just gonna like passively level up our spells a little bit. Work on our spells because working on our spells works on our MP, and the more MP we have, the longer we can use our spells in dungeons. The longer we can use our spells in dungeons, the more fun we can have with particle effects. Because I'm sure that somebody would find it offensive if I said this, but I'm not convinced that casting spells in video games isn't about the particle effects for the gamer. Yeah, elemental effects are neat when you have type matching, but like that was a fire attack against something called a vampire thorn, and it didn't do, double damage. So we don't have type matching in this game, and that is something I've talked about a lot. That type matching was a thing that pretty generally wasn't a thing in RPGs of any kind before Pokemon. Before Pokemon made it normal to anticipate that or to look for it, it was pretty much just, it didn't exist. Some things would have weaknesses, but everything having static type match weaknesses didn't exist. Mr. S got his fire up, so I'm talking about. Mouse is got her protect up. Hell yes! Low gold yields, gil yields from these fights. But we're not worried. These guys literally all say the same thing. Bask, the city to our east, is under the control of the Empire. They're building something terrible there. Bafsk, the city to our east. Bafsk, the city to our east. That's hard to say. Bafsk. That's hard to say. Bafsk. It sounds like I just can't say bath. I should probably learn airship while I'm here. We don't want Bafsk. We want Altair. No, we don't. We don't want to take the airship. We want to talk to this guy. And we want to take the boat type ship. We want to take the swimming type ship, as I say. Because boats totally swim. I did that like 5 times in a row across 3 days. It was my first Final Fantasy play. Kept calling it, let's get in the boat. Let's swim the boat. God damn it. This is Paloom. We don't want to be in Paloom. We want to go into the river and go back to Altair. And I love this. I love the we have to town hop like this. This is how you would have to travel in a reality that's like this time period. You would have to travel. You would have to take the boat. You would want to take the boat. You would want to taxi on the airship. You would not want to walk that way. And so I think it's very cool that even in the second Final Fantasy, they're already innovating. Okay, let's try to get fast travel. Let's try to get like in World of Warcraft with the flight paths. Let's get transportation. Let's link this world up. Because the first Final Fantasy isn't linked up. The cities aren't connecting to one another, right? It's not a connected, linked world because there's a cataclysm that's been going on for centuries now. Remember, the fiends had come up 400 and 200, and last year this is a cataclysm that's been going on for centuries in this world. These cities are not in communication with one another. In fact, one of them is a city of people that can't communicate with the rest. That's good storytelling. That's good world building. This is better. This is a thriving world that's experiencing an imperial cataclysm. One group deciding that they're going to rule over all of the others. And what are we going to do about it? And that right there, my PDA says, bring it the fuck on. Let's do something about it. The Empire also suffered heavy losses at the Battle of Fynn, Hilda says. They're building the Dreadnought in Bafsk to help compensate for those losses. Learn Dreadnought, ask Airship. She tells me about Sid. Oh, neat. She told me a lot of stuff I don't need. The Empire is using the people of Bafsk to build the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought itself is a massive, heavily armed airship. Okay, well, we've got airship. So if we ask about airship again, she says a man named Sid, the former captain of Finn's Order of the White Knights, built an airship. It's a ship that sails the skies, but the airship captivated him, body and soul, and he soon left Fynn. We are poorer for his absence. I am told he now lives in Poft, granting travelers passage on his airship for a price. He then uses this money to make further renovations of his airship. Or so the story goes. You found the mithril! Now we'll finally be able to fight the Empire on equal footing. Please take the mithril to Tobble, the town's blacksmith. I'm certain he'll be able to use it to make you some magnificent weapons. This is what I'm talking about. We got a guy named Tobel and a guy named Paul. Why is his name Paul? Of all the names it could be, why Paul? Hey, Tobel, I've got this here mithril.
Oh, that's mithril. I've been waiting for the chance to work this metal for as long as I can remember. All right, leave the rest to me. Swords, armor, you name it, I'll start crafting. It's been too long since I let my hammer ring.
Heard that, pal.
You can buy the equipment I made over at the shop counter. They'll keep my hands full, I'll tell you that.
Now, this'll keep my hands full, I'll tell you that, he says. And so now we got a new merchant. What can I do for you? That's what the mithril merchant sounds like. He sounds like Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poop. I'm actually not sure I know what Mr. Hanky sounds like. I just thought it would be funny to say. Hopefully I was close. Mithril sword, mithril knife. Fucking A. Too bad we don't have, like, mithril knuckle dusters. And give 2 fucking mithril, they wouldn't be brass knuckles. They would be mithril knuckles. So, knuckle dusters in this case. Give 2 mithril knuckle dusters to Mouse and just watch her go fucking ham. You can fuck off. It's this guy. What can I do for ya? That's how he talks. Oh no. I can't afford this stuff? Well, what if we sell all this bullshit we picked up along the way? The real bullshit was the stuff we picked up along the way. I guess I could have said accumulated. The stuff we accumulated all the way. Far tome. We don't want to sell our mithril stuff now. Whew. Mithril armor, baby. Mithril armor has a pretty sizable magic interference penalty, which I'm not going to lie, I anticipated it wouldn't, being mithril. Do I have a mithril axe? Mithril sword. If I do, it's equipped to somebody. Okay, here we go. Moving on. Now what did she want me to do? She wanted me to do something about a dreadnought and Bafsk. We privately have been talking about how we know that one of the things the game wants us to do is prevent the Empire from doing something at Bafsk. And now we know what that thing is. That thing is that dreadnought. So we need to go to Bafsk. It's legitimately hard for me to pronounce. Bafsk. Yes, Mr. S. Gamers, but yeah, use your fucking potions. I've never understood that. You saw, I beat Final Fantasy for you twice. I saved my elixirs for the final boss, but I use them. That's what they're for. Once you can buy them, like once you can buy X potions or high potions in other games, just use them. Fuck. And then in games that you can make stuff, if it's your first playthrough, who gives a shit? You are never going to get so lucky that you don't spend the thing that there's only one of them and it makes the super weapon on your first playthrough by accident. I have strong feelings about that as well, Mr. S. I don't know where that came from. Honestly, the only people I know who are actually like that are women. And so it's probably just a female thing, and we just made it a gamer thing because gamers are real dumb. Gamer women are real dumb. Real dumb. Humph. That oversized garbage scow? Airships aren't about how big you build them. Airships are about all... Oh, wait a minute. Airships are all about what they can do. Heard that. So we're gonna it's a hop and a skip and a jump from the airship to Bafsk. So we're just gonna... I've been talking about how great the vehicles are, and that they cost money, and that they're a taxi service. So we're gonna use it this time. It's right over this water. I mean, it's right there. But we don't need the random encounters, and that was the last of our money. I should save. I don't even remember the last time I saved. 8 minutes ago. Not bad. By my standards, not bad. We are 3 minutes away from 3 hours, so fuck it. We're just gonna keep going until I'm tired. What happens when we talk to this guy? I don't feel like working at all with that buffoon Borgin in charge. The thought of doing anything for his precious glory makes me sick to my stomach. You'll need a pass to board the Dreadnought. You were at the Rebels, right? You've got to destroy the Dreadnought. That's what we're here for. There's a rebel spy masquerading as an Imperial soldier. If you can get to him, I'm sure he'll have some important information for you. When is the Dark Knight coming back? At this rate, we're going to fall behind schedule for sure. Get back to work, I swear. No one wants to work under General Borgin. What's this? Back to work! Work, I say! If we finish even 1 day sooner, my glory will be exponentially greater. Okay, Borgin. General Borgin is not dealing with these peasants as he should be. Ominous. We have no money. General Borgin took command of things in Bafsk a short while ago. Things have gotten much easier than they were under the Dark Knight. It's hard to believe a bumbling idiot like Borgin could become a general in the Imperial Army. Ask Wild Rose. Aha! You're one of us. I had to be careful about what I did while the Dark Knight was here looking over my shoulder, but the great General Borgin is anything but great. He's just a domineering blowhard. So you're the ones that have been they've sent to destroy the Dreadnought. Don't worry, I'm on your side. There's an entrance to the sewers up ahead. It's a back way leading to the Dreadnought. Be careful. If they see us talking, they may start to get suspicious. So I'm out of here. Good luck. Again, this is way cooler spy shit than anything Final Fantasy VII does. Way cooler spy shit. And frankly, it's just cooler medieval world building than Chrono Trigger. It just is. This is just cooler. I understand that's entirely opinion. It's my opinion. But this is a better game. This is just more fun. And I find that inexcusable. The only excuse is that it was never released in the States, so the States had nothing to compare Chrono Trigger to as regards this. They didn't have this to compare it to. Mouse learned Blink. We like that. Kyle got his fire up a level. Hell yeah. I only use those defensive spells, like in earnest, on boss fights. But whatever. They can't even hit us now. Our evasion is so high. Our agility, our stats are so high that they can't even hit us. That's the goal here. We want to absolutely dominate this game. We want to take these kids from bumbling idiots who got caught in the middle of a battle they had no business being a part of into actual superheroes. Like the kinds of people that they make video games about. That's what I want. Hopefully it's what you want. Hopefully that's why you're watching. You want to see me do some cool shit? I think it's cool. I think it feels cool. And what's the difference in being and feeling cool? You know what I'm saying? Like legit, what is the difference? Mr. S, I genuinely think you're funny. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I just opened your text message, the ancient potions thing again, just to read it a second time because I genuinely think you're very funny. Why am I confused? Because I'm a stupid person. Okay, moving on. I was like, they can't all be casting shell, only she has shell. No, they all have shell cast on them. Because, see, Final Fantasy, Squeenix isn't an asshole. It tells you what buffs you have currently equipped. Something I can never figure out on Chrono Trigger. Bump. Yay! But look, I'm an old school Square fanboy. Back when we kinda used to have to justify it. Now Squeenix is Squeenix, right? But Spirited Within, or Spirits Within, Spirited Away is another anime that came out around the same time. Spirits Within really negatively impacted a lot of people's opinions about Square at the time. Because you got to remember, most people had only ever heard of the first Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy VII. 2, which was 4, and 3, which was 6. Most people did not play them on the SNES. Most people did not play them. So when 7 came out, it was like, I don't even know. I started to say it was like, whoa. But like, they didn't have any experience with a whole console generation of that genre of game. And just like with what happened with the Switch, every new console, every time there's like a new console, so when the PlayStation was new, lots of people tried gaming for the first time because the PlayStation was new, so they weren't missing out on anything yet. You know, like people will ask like, oh, you know, it's the fourth game, it's the fourth installment in a series. Do I need to have played the first 3 games in order to enjoy the fourth game? And it's like with the Final Fantasy games, the answer is never yes. No. You don't even need to play the most recent one. If before this, now if you're talking about 10.2, or I think 13 has 2 sequels, 13.2 and 13.3. Those are a different situation. But you obviously, like if you pick up 10.2 and you think it's not going to be a direct sequel of 10, you deserve the narrative whiplash you're going to get. You deserve every bit of narrative whiplash you're going to get. You did that to you. Squeenix didn't do that to you. But if you pick up Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3 and you're asking yourself, well, do I need to have played Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1 to enjoy it? That's a good question. That doesn't necessarily need to be obvious because Fable 3 and Fable 2 are not sequels of Fable. See what I'm saying? It's a good question to ask. And video games are real bad for making trilogies and then reboots on the 4th game, the 4th installment. When the trilogy crushed, then they'll reboot on number 4. I don't like that. But they do it to avoid the what are those called? Soap. They're soaps. My grandmother watches the soap. What are those called? Soap dramas? Soap operas. They want to get out of the soap opera narrative of constantly trying to one up their previous um what are those called when there's a twist, previous twists in the narrative. So Halo, for example, the Bungie team kept trying to quit making Halo games after the third one because they had already written themselves into a soap opera. Because I got a secret for you, boys and girls. Bad writers are bad writers. Bad writers can't handle a sprawling space opera without it becoming a tedious and cliched soap opera because they haven't read enough stories. They've read like 5 books and they're trying to ape all of those books all at the same time. And so it comes out bad. And Mr. S, I'm not talking about you. Because when you talk, what you tend to talk to me about is less telling stories and more mechanics. You seem to be very interested in the mechanics of playing games, and you're young enough that if you were to run, for example, a D&D campaign, or you were to master the mechanics enough to play a video game, you're going to know that your story is bad. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to think to yourself, this is a masterpiece on par with Dante's Inferno. No, you're going to think, people are probably going to think this part sucks, but if I make the rest of it good, they'll play it. And I prefer that design philosophy. That's what Final Fantasy is. They basically, it's named Final Fantasy because the developers anticipated it being so good it would be the final RPG you would ever need to play, meaning you wouldn't even need to play Dragon Quest 2. Fuck Dragon Quest is what the name of this franchise means. I think that's pretty clever. Now, they might never admit that. That's my interpretation. I've been working behind the scenes to see the project through to completion, says the Dark Knight. End your resistance. Kneel before your emperor. It is the only alternative left to you. Consider what I've said. When the time comes, we will meet again. That should have been, they got their punctuation there. It said, that should have said, consider what I said when the time comes. Period. We will meet again. Heh heh heh. Looks like you came all this way for nothing. See for yourselves. Uh-oh. What? That's not a boss fight. That's a lot bigger than Sid. Uh-oh. Oh, no. We failed. We had one job. We had one mission. Stop them from completing that thing before they could do that. And we did not succeed. This is so much more dramatic. The stakes are so much higher than anything in Final Fantasy VII or Chrono Trigger. I like this so much. And they're not wasting my time. That was brief. And given what they have to work with, they didn't waste a bunch of RAM or a bunch of hardware space with a movie or trying to make it look cool. No. This is what happened. The giant airship dropped bombs on these 2 towns. Go find out what happened. Go see what happens as a result. The map, the overmap changes as we play the game. As the story develops, the people that we have interacted with and said, I don't want to interact with you a second time, now have different dialogue because some of them are dead. That is such great game development and story writing. Like when I went to that lake town, right, on the way to Finn, I was like, I don't need to talk to all of you because this town isn't important. Now, if I go there, They're going to be reacting to the fact that these other two towns were just bombed with an airplane. There's only two airships in the whole world. The only way, the only hope we had was to stop that before it got airborne, and we did not. This is dramatic shit, in my opinion. This is good story writing. This makes me want to stay awake past midnight, just like when I was a little kid, right? I wouldn't have played this as a little kid, but just when I was a little kid, like, I got to stay up just one more hour, right? I was talking about one more turn games. And this has become just one more turn, just one more narrative, just one more narrative section, just one more, just one more. That's what I like. I think I'm going the wrong way. That's what I always like, 100% of the time. It doesn't matter the genre. It doesn't matter whether it's a free-to-play mobile game or what. I've played several very good free-to-play mobile games because it was like, well, just one more level, just one more puzzle. And this gives me that in a way that so few other video games do. I highly recommend. This game is like $15 on any platform. It's almost always on sale because this is the one nobody likes. It's on Steam, it's on Switch, it's on both Xbox and PlayStation. You've seen how little time we've actually spent fighting one another. You saw how little time we actually spent fighting one another. People will say that you have to play the whole game like that. Oh, it sucks. The only way to get better is to beat up one another. It's just not true. It's just not true. Look at how powerful Mouse is. Unarmed. So cool. Love it. And yeah, I'm going to be forceful about it because this is one of the things that I care about, care deeply about. I like this. I played this my senior year of high school, and the um, strategy guide didn't mention that nobody liked it. I got the strategy guide, and I wasn't on the internet at the time. This was Final Fantasy Origins, Anthology, and the third one, whatever, Chronology. I think I might have whatever Chronicle. Those three PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy collections were my graduation from high school gift from my mother. Um, yeah, but they were all I wanted too. But she also said that there were going to be other things. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They were my graduation gift from my mother. No, they weren't. They were my 17th birthday gift from my mother. That's right. That actually makes more sense. Uh, the were my gift for my 17th birthday, and so I sat for my senior year and I played these, and I was off the internet, so I didn't know that nobody liked them. The second one, I didn't know that nobody liked the second one, and so I was really excited to get online after I beat it and talk to my friends, and I was really excited to meet other Final Fantasy nerds who had played and liked this game. And so when I got online and I saw that nobody likes it, I was really disappointed. And I pretty much I just stopped talking about video games with other people until basically 2 years ago. Because my opinions are so different. The Dreadnought, we're doomed! They finished the Dreadnought. The world we know is over. You have to tell Princess Hilda that the Dreadnought's been completed. She may know how to stop it. The Dreadnought's headed for Poft. Maybe it's already too late. Yeah, it was already too late. I messed up. Sorry, guys. I let you all down. And of course, I know a secret that you don't know. Oh, so I meant to do something a while ago that I didn't do. I meant to go into my boosts. There's a. I don't want the compensatory HP. And this and this and this should all be at half if we're going to play it original. Um, we shouldn't have had that compensatory HP where you just get HP as time goes along because people didn't understand. People just could not figure out how to get their HP up to take damage. Well, I'm ending these fights so fast. I'm not taking any damage. Yeah, you have to do damage to yourself in that context. Or you just have to stand there and defend through it. You gotta take damage. It's the only way to get more health, is to heal it. And it makes sense. How do you get muscles? Tear them. You gotta get micro tears of your muscles. You basically gotta just shred them. Like when you're sore and you can't move your muscles, it's because of lactic acid and muscle tears, fibers, the tears in the fibers. You gotta tear and repair those fibers in order to get bigger and stronger. If you're not going to exhaustion, you're not building muscle. You're burning calories. You're just not building muscle. You're not getting stronger. If you're not exhausted, you're not going to be stronger in 2 days when the muscles have healed. Believe me, I'm no longer sore after walking 2 miles uphill one way on the return. My legs ache and hurt at all times because of my muscle tears. Tears are different than micro tears, obviously. But I'm no longer dead ass tired, and I sing through it. So what's your excuse? That's my question to myself all the time. It's like I was thinking today about how in 2020, when I was living in my apartment working at Family Dollar. Yeah, FD, not DG. Working for FD. That might not be right, and it doesn't matter, but I should know. Um, anyway, I bought an entertainment center for my television. I finally, after a year of living there, had saved up enough money to buy an entertainment center, and I bought it from Dollar Tree, of course. I mean, it was only like $20 or whatever, and it was too small, but it was getting my television finally up off on my floor. Um, did I go the wrong way? Yeah, I think I just sailed back to Poft. I didn't mean to do that. I was talking. And I had my backpack and I walked to work. I lived less than 15 minutes, fewer than 15 minutes away. Um, fewer is for plural words. So minutes is plural, fewer than plural. Um, I had a less than 5 minute walk is a singular walk, less than walk, a walk, less than 5 minute walk, because 5 minute there is singular. But anyway, um, 15-minute walk, less than 15-minute walk. So I bought a little thing of clothesline, and I tied the entertainment center to my backpack, and I carried it home. And all the women I worked with were looking at me like I'm an actual crazy person, and I'm just like, where do you think backpacks came from? Just us using rope to tie shit to our backs. Do you not know how uncomfortable it is to carry something, especially as oblong and heavy as an entertainment center, in your arms? Come on, be an adult. And so, like, you see people in India who go to work by tying 20 feet worth of shit onto the back of a bicycle and then pedaling that motherfucker into town so they can sell it. So, what's my excuse? Right? What's my excuse to not find a way to get where I need to get? There's a man in Poft named Sid who just might know if the Dreadnought has any weaknesses. Sid was the first person to ever build an airship, and the Dreadnought's really nothing but a big airship, right? Prince Gordon's disappeared. I wonder where he could have gone. The dreadnought attacked, but at least our hideout is still safe. Everybody who is outside is dead. We'll stay here and hold out until you return. If we don't destroy the dreadnought, the casualties will only mount. Please, Lord, save our king. I'm scared. Altair wasn't spared the dreadnought's assault. Lucky for us, the hideout was unharmed. The townspeople have taken refuge here.
You see? It happened just as I said it would. Obviously, the task was more than you could handle.
Go fuck yourself, old man. After all that, they finished the dreadnought anyway. Incidentally, I believe the king had something to tell you. Hilda? Many were wounded in the dreadnought's attack. The shock has even caused my father's condition to take a turn for the worse. I hate that my father has to see this. He knows his death is near. Is there nothing you can do, Minwu? Mouse asks. All those who live must someday die. It is our fate. Still, it is my duty as a white wizard to ease the pain of those who suffer. So he's a hero-class white mage, isn't that cool? I shall remain here and devote myself to the care of the wounded. I take my leave of you. The fate of the world rests on you, Mr. S. Waste no time in destroying the dreadnought. I forgot how to pronounce the name I spelled. Minwu left the party. Dramatic. Heavy shit, but dramatic. I like drama. We like drama. The king's illness goes far beyond the physical. There is little I can do.
So many perished in the dreadnought's attack. Perhaps it would be best if we surrendered to the Empire.
He doesn't know.
No one knows more about airships than Sid. He was such a fine knight once. Oh, how men change.
Well, there's your hint. And yeah, I think we have eclipsed midnight, and I am getting tired. How are we doing? So there, I feel like that's actually pretty adequate for engaging in the first story beat. We are losing this war badly. That's what this story is about. We are losing this war badly. We are outmatched by a foe that has bigger weapons and better magic. We are losing, and it's not looking good. It's not look like we're going to make any kind of gains on the Empire. Oh, cool. Mithril armor actually does have the same amount of magic interference as the bronze armor. It's the helm and the gloves that have a little bit more. Cool. I kind of shit-talked it about that, and they did get that right. So that's cool. I do approve. I like that. I have opinions about all of this stuff, every little detail. I probably can't actually afford to rest. So now we have to go back. I'm actually going to go back because I won't remember that, and I don't want to start our next video by going back and talking to Priscilla to try to figure out what the hell we're supposed to be doing. So let's just go, and I'm gonna park my ass. I'm gonna save right in front of Sid. Well, right in front of Sid's town, so we can remember. We need to talk to Sid. This is also the introduction of Sid, a recurring character in this franchise. I'm so glad you guys trusted me. I say you guys. I know it's Mr. S that's watching me right now, but I'm trusting in the future. I'm trusting in the future that there will be more, and that you do trust me to play this. Because we could have played the first Final Fantasy again. There are more party combinations to be had. I haven't won with that white mage and ninja, or yeah, the white wizard ninja combo. We could have done that, but it really means a lot to me that you trusted me, that you've trusted me to get 3 hours into Final Fantasy 2 with me. This is one of my all-time favorite games. I love this so much, and so few, this game gets such a bad rap. It really does. So few people like this game. There you go, guys. That's the first 3.5 hours. We are losing this war badly, but if anybody can get us out of this pickle, or at least tell us three idiots who are the only damned idiot enough to actually fight back against the Empire in a meaningful way, or at least fucking try. If anybody can help, it's Sid. And so that's what we're gonna do next time. Thank you so much for being here. And if you haven't done it yet, and it would just mean a lot to me if we did two things. Okay, when we heard those crickets, when we hear crickets anytime, we remember to say a little prayer for the people who just don't get to use their voices. And I don't mean to make a living. I mean to sustain themselves as human people. The people who are no longer with us, the people who want to be singers, who want to be podcasters, the people who don't get to use their voices. If we could just say a prayer for them that they find their way to their voice, would mean a lot to me. And if in the comments we could tell Mr. S thank you for everything he does for me and for you. Because if you enjoyed this because Mr. S made it possible. And I don't mean to be bossy, but it would mean a lot to me if I started seeing thank you, Mr. S, in my comments that I could heart and like. It would mean a lot to me. Just as a personal favor to your boy Shags. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for that like. Thank you, Mr. S. Thank you, Madge. Thank you, everybody else who frequents my channel regularly. It means a lot to me. This is a dream come true for me, even though to you it might be homelessness and cold at night in a tent with an external battery and microphones that no longer have a dongle. But that's not what it is for me. So thank you, really. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart and with everything that I have. Until tomorrow morning, I am Shaggy. I am Philolitea. This has been Final Fantasy II, one of my all-time favorite video games. We listened to a book about King Arthur at the beginning, a comparative mythology, because I talked about comparative mythology with some of my new regulars in the morning, and I wanted to give them an opportunity to hear what that looks like. Today is Monday, tomorrow is Tuesday, so that means that we'll be going Titan Quest, and I should commit to going live and doing the good morning, we can call it Shaggy's watering hole, if you like. I should commit to doing that in the mornings when I wake up. Just wake up, roll over, turn the phone on, it's already in position, and just going live with that. It's going to take me some time to pledge to it, to commit to it, but that is something that I want to do and that I will get at. So today I got 10 hours. So that's 10 hours clocked. I'm proud of that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Until tomorrow. Take care and be well.